106.3 The Game. We are broadcasting live at the Murphy Center today on the campus of MTSU, Middle Tennessee State University. Hope you're having a great start to your Thursday. Chase McCabe and Derek Mason here with you. Willie Donick is in Winnipeg. He'll join us later in the show as the Predators will take on the Jets later on tonight. This is cool to be here today because on December 11th, that was the 50th anniversary of the Murphy Center. And I know that I spent a lot of time in here as a student at Middle Tennessee State University. They've redone the court. It's the first time I've seen the gray court, which is pretty cool. That is new, but an awesome celebration that they have. I was walking through. They have a timeline of all the big events that have happened here at the Murphy Center over the last 50 years. And it's pretty cool to see all the events that have taken place there. But they'll play Chattanooga tonight. We'll have coverage on 94.9 The Fan starting at 5:30, a 6 o'clock tip as Nick McDevitt and his crew will play here at the Murphy Center. What's up, D-Mase?
Hey, what's going on? Just trying to find the entrance.
Yeah, well, you found it.
Hey, listen, you like that fork in the road? Like,
yeah.
Which way do you go, right or left? Well, I went right.
You should have gone left.
Should have gone left.
I feel that.
And I walked all the way around the building.
I feel that.
And finally found the entrance.
Well, you know what? You're here now.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
And there's going to be some hoops tonight with MTSU
taking
on Chattanooga. One thing that you'll like that I was just telling the listeners about is they have a timeline of all the big events that have happened here at Murphy Center over the last 50 years.
Okay.
As they celebrate the 50th anniversary. I mean, Garth Brooks has played here. There's been some big concerts here. I love wrestling. Hulk Hogan wrestled here.
Did they add us into it when we did our show here some years ago?
You know, I need to go see if that's on
exactly,
there. That should be here. The game of horse that we had where I looked. I mean, that was the first time I think y'all saw me shoot a basketball.
Yeah, and it didn't look too good, Chaser.
No, that's okay.
But you know what? That wasn't your calling in life, man. It wasn't.
No, my calling was not to play sports. It was to talk about it.
Absolutely. There we go.
And that's exactly what we're doing. Coach Nick McDevitt of MTSU is going to join us at the bottom of the hour. So we'll talk to him about his season, and he's a NASCAR fan too. So that'd be pretty cool. But let's start things off with, and I know you guys, you and Caroline and Willie talked about it a little bit, but Mike Sando's article that he had in The Athletic on the firing of John Robinson and, could the Titans become the Texans. Mike Sando actually was on with our morning show today. It was a really good interview. You can go to theGameNashville.com. But I think it's interesting to kind of hear how people are starting to view the Titans, and when I mean view the Titans, I mean Amy Adams-Strunk.
Exactly.
And you start to hear comparisons to her dad. That concerns me a little bit.
Yeah, that's not good, because Bud did a lot of good things for, the Houston Oilers / Tennessee Titans. He took that team, I believe, from the AFL to the NFL, and built a franchise that, for a time period there, they were competing at a high level. And then you fire Bum Phillips, and the team, dips down, and they go through their years. Then they come back up with the addition of Warren Moon, the receivers, the run and shoot, Lorenzo White. And then all of a sudden they dip back down again for a bit. They hire Jeff Fisher. Floyd Reese comes in away this franchise go. And we all know from 99 to about 2003, this team was considered one of the best teams in the National Football League, took a trip to the Super Bowl, had 2 AFC championship appearances in that span. And then they fire subsequently in 2004. They bust up the roster. Year after that, they get rid of Steve McNair. Then they fire Floyd Reese.
Yep.
So this, and now Amy fires a winning GM. So there's been, just like any other franchise, but you just didn't expect this from the Tennessee Titans. You know, a few days ago, listening to Jared and Caroline, and you know, when this is done, you think of franchises like Cleveland, Cincinnati, Detroit, the franchises that, you know, make their living in mediocrity or even below that. You don't think of the Tennessee Titans when you think of moves like what happened the other day, but it did. And now people are trying to figure out, is this franchise headed in the wrong direction? Because you've never seen a winning GM get fired with 5 games left in a season. Well, this franchise has fired a winning coach, and they fired a winning GM. That's not good.
No, and that's – look, I think that's where things could catch up to him. Mike Sando earlier this morning with Robbie and Rex Road and was asked about how the NFL views owner Amy Adams-Strunk.
I think they're much like everyone else where you don't really know. I think that there's not a great body of work and people are reading it from afar. And shoot, I live in the Seattle area and no one really knows that much about, no one knew that much about Paul Allen. He owned the team for 20 years. And now his sister's running it and people are trying to figure out her. And she's been doing it for 2 years. And during that time, they've traded Russell Wilson and done things that we didn't know was going to happen, right? And so I think they're the same as everyone else. It's not like these owners necessarily are meeting every day or having deep, in-depth conversations that trickle down to the management level into the realm of the types of people that I'm talking to all the time. So I think it's a little bit of a guessing game along those lines, or we may read too much in any one move because it's all we got.
That's Mike Sando of The Athletic this morning. He said something interesting in there where most people don't know. And I kind of think that's been the case for a while, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. Now, I feel like around here, we've gotten to know what she's about. You know, is she the best owner? No. Is she the worst? No. I mean, she's obviously done some good things with the franchise to get them back to where they needed to be. But those good things were hiring John Robinson, hiring Mike Vrabel, kind of stepping out and letting the football people do the football things, letting the business people do the business things. And then she makes a move like this. And so now people are starting to realize who she is and get to know her, but I think it's for the wrong reasons. And that's a concern.
Yeah, it is. I'm trying to figure this out because I think sometimes – and Amy has done some things that has put this franchise, has turned it back in the right direction. Because before Malarkey, I think this franchise was headed in the opposite direction. And she made the hire of John Robinson. And then subsequently, John Robinson ended up firing a winning coach, head coach, to go with Mike Vrabel, and it worked out. But what you do to others sometimes, just sometimes, may be done to you. And you end up firing a winning coach, and Amy ended up firing a winning GM. But honestly, we don't know anything about Amy Adams. Honestly, if you really think about it, we don't know anything about her other than what she has shown us. You know, she has done some good things for the organization. She has revamped that facility. But other than that, we don't know too much about her. Just like, Sando said, they didn't know anything about Paul Allen in Seattle. And he owned the team for 20 years. So when we say we know about Amy Adams, we don't know a damn thing about Amy Adams other than what she has shown us. And that is she's willing to put the money in, put the money to, fixing up the facility, which she did, because that's sort of like a recruiting tool as well. No, top flight free agent wants to come into a building that hasn't been renovated that still looked like it did in 1997. Well, what did she do? She put the money into the building, and it looks fabulous.
Yeah. But
But other than that, now she's done her, community stuff. We all know that. I think every owner does that, or they have to do it.
Sure.
And if they don't, then something's wrong with them. But other than that, I'm just honestly speaking, we don't know anything about Amy other than what she has done now. What she has done now has pretty much overshadowed what she has shown us prior to that. And I don't know. I mean, we look at it as indifferent now. But history will, tell us whether this was a good move or a bad move, and we just got to wait it out.
I have an interesting comment on that. 'Cause you just kind of sparked something with me. 615-737-1025. How would you evaluate Amy Adams-Strunk as controlling owner of the Tennessee Titans? 615-737-1025. We'll take your calls on our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com and your texts as well. We're live today at the Murphy Center on the campus of Middle Tennessee State University. We'll come back with that next. Chase, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Every Wednesday at 8:45. Join Robbie and Rex Road for The Choice is Yours.
2 sports questions, 2 non-sports questions.
They'll answer a couple of questions about life and sports. The Choice is Yours is built by Jarrett Companies. You have a choice. So when you have a need for site and utility work, fire protection, concrete and asphalt services, the choice is simple. It's Jarrett Companies. For more, visit JarrettCompaniesInc.com. The Choice is Yours. Wednesdays at 8:45 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Have some family or friends in town for the holidays? Show them a good time. Great scratch food and even better scenic views at Twin Peaks. With plenty of shareable things on the menu, this is your place for holiday gatherings. Contact your favorite location for more info today.
This holiday season, tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the hottest gifts from Titleist and Bushnell. Elevate your performance with Titleist TSR drivers designed to maximize distance. While you're there, grab a dozen Pro V1 or Pro V1X golf balls. And from Bushnell, save up to $75 on the Tour V5 and Tour V5 Shift rangefinders. We also have gift cards for those favorite golfers on your list. Don't miss these holiday gifts and more happening now at Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Hi guys, it's Mark with Hillside Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical advancement that has helped thousands of men. Our wave technology is backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge University. It's been shown to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us now, and not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, but will also include something unique that produces powerful results in the bedroom. You're going to love that one, guys. Trust me. This unprecedented offer is worth $600, but it's free to those who call in the next 2 minutes. Call 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your life back. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now to qualify. 615-576-5000.
Hey, Robbie Stanley here, and you can start NFL Week 15 off the right way with NFL Same Game Parlay Insurance from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And it doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or already have an account. You'll get free bets back if your 4+ leg Thursday night Same Game Parlay falls 1 leg short. NFL Same Game Parlays are the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payday. The Niners and the Seahawks coming up on Thursday night. I'll go Christian McCaffrey, an anytime touchdown scorer. I'll go Brock Purdy over on touchdown passes, and I'll take the 49ers on the money line. But you take it any way you want to take it. Build your own or choose from one of the popular same-game parlays pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. However you want to play, you can bet the NFL on Thursday night with a same-game parlay. Just sign up with promo code ROB if you don't already have an account. If you do already have FanDuel, you're all set. Just sign in to see what you've got. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expires 7 days after receipt. A max free bet of $25. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Got a gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Patriot Software provides American businesses with easy, cloud-based, premium accounting software and full-service payroll for up to 100 employees. Business owners love the simplicity, the price, and our U.S.-based support. And accountants love the powerful capabilities. Go to PatriotSoftware.com. That's PatriotSoftware.com.
with PatriotSoftware.com. Accounting and payroll. Keep your time and money.
It's on. It's happening.
Remember, you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter.
Get out of the way, I'm watching a game.
Presented by the law offices of Amanda Gentry.
I'm ready to step this up a notch.
You're listening to Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5 The Game, 106.3 as well, 97.5 here in Murfreesboro. Lots of options to listen to us. Also download that Game Nashville app. We're at the Murphy Center today. 50th anniversary of this building was December 11th. Tonight is the game commemorating that. They're going to wear throwback uniforms. Some of the members of the team from 1972 will be here as well, which is going to be cool. So awesome night at the Murphy Center. We'll talk to Nick McDevitt, the MTSU basketball coach, in about 15 minutes. But your evaluation of Amy Adams-Strunk as controlling owner of the Tennessee Titans, as you look at not just the firing of John Robinson, but look at her entire body of work since she's taken over. Now, I mean, you put the hiring of John Robinson in there as well. That was a good thing because look at where the team was and where it went. Mike Vrabel, obviously, is in there. I mean, the team has had a winning season for the last 5 years. They're looking like they're going to do that again, even though they may not. I mean, we don't know, but that's the thing. They could win this division at 8-9. But I feel like 9-8 now. Potentially 10-6, but I feel like they would have to go out to LA and win this weekend, and I don't feel confident in that right now.
No, I don't either. The Chargers are, these two teams are going in the opposite direction. The Titans are losing guys, and the LA Chargers are getting a lot of their guys back. Derwin James is day-to-day. I don't think he practiced yesterday. You have, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are back. They're two big playmaking receivers. Herbert looks a little bit more comfortable in the pocket. He's still getting pressured, but I think they get one of their offensive linemen back. They got their center back. He was injured. I think they may get their tackle back this week. So this team, and then from the defensive standpoint, they're getting some linemen back and some secondary guys back as well. This team is getting healthier while the Titans are getting more injured as a team. And I don't think the way this team looks today, they can go to LA and beat the Chargers. I just think both of these teams are headed in different directions, and the directions the Titans are headed is not good.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, I feel like that, and I don't put all that on Vrabel. Now, what I will put on Vrabel is, he's stuck by the offensive coordinator, and I think everybody and their mother at this point is like, Todd Downing is not the answer at offensive coordinator, and none of us are convinced he's going to actually make a change at the end of the season. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I don't know. But, so that is on the head coach. But the injuries are piling up. Why is that happening? Why? That's another thing in all of this. Why do you think that's happening? You look at really the last few years especially, but and I know every football team deals with injuries, and you hear that all the time. It happens in the NFL. Nobody's 100%. I get all that. But it does feel like they're piling up maybe more than normal for the Titans, or is that just because we're right here in it and that's what we see on a day-to-day basis? Or do you think that?
I think I think it may be a little bit of both. I think because we see it on a day-to-day basis, it seems like a lot to us. But I guarantee you, if you go in other markets, say the market that we're going into this weekend, I'm sure the LA Charger fans, felt the same way that we felt. Like, man, we have all these injuries, these rash of injuries. You go to Baltimore. I'm sure their fan base feels the same way. because they have just as many injuries, or maybe not as many, but they have more key injuries, more importantly, injury to the quarterback that we don't have. So I think it's more so depending on which, market you're in. If your team is fully healthy, you're not talking about injuries. You may be talking about the record, but you're not talking about injuries. But in our market, we're sort of talking about both. We're talking about injuries, and we're talking about, can the Titans hold on to the AFC South?
And that's a big question. If
Yeah.
they can.
And Chase, that is surprising.
Oh,
that is really surprising because 4 or 5 weeks ago, what were we saying?
They got it.
This is their division. Hell, they might. I can recall saying at this point the Titans might just get a number 1 seed because Buffalo was trending in the wrong way. Josh Allen was making bad decisions. Kansas City looked as if they had some chink in their armor. And the Titans were the only solid team. Yeah, they had their injuries, but they were solid and they were winning games. And that was 5 weeks ago. Now it's like, can the Titans even hold on to the AFC South?
To that point, do you think let's say 3-4 games ago, did we believe that this was a good team?
I think we did.
Yeah, we believed it was a good team. Do you buy into, and you've been on, I'd have to go back and look at some of these Titans and Ravens teams you played on that you won the division, but do you think that sometimes if you're on a team and you're a good team, but you're in a bad division, so it's like, hey, we got this in the bag, that sometimes that sets in and maybe a little complacency sets in? Or is that just not true in the NFL?
I don't think that's true, and I hope that isn't the case in regards to this Tennessee Titans team, thinking the division is so bad that, listen, if we get to 8 games, we're going to win this division. I hope that is not true. But what is true and what has been shown to be true throughout the NFL, no matter what year it is that in December, and I think we talked about this yesterday with Hutton, in December, in early January, in late November into December, that's when we find out who the good teams are.
Yeah.
And who the pretenders sort of were. At this point, it seems like the Titans are a pretender because they started off 0-2, then they went on this run where they were beating bad teams.
Right.
And now they've gotten to the point of the season where we've always said the NFL is a war of attrition. If you can stay healthy, then you're good, especially if you got a good team. But if you don't have a good team and you start getting injured, you might as well forget it. And that's the Tennessee Titans, that 11-on-11 or 22-on-22, they got a solid team. They got a team that can get to the playoffs. I don't know if they can win a game in the playoffs, but they can get to the playoffs. But now that they have injuries, this is not a good team, and it's showing. They are separating themselves from the really good teams, and it's not in a good way. They are falling back. It's like a race, you've seen in the Olympics when they're running, 5-mile race or whatever the mile race it is, 3-mile race. Everybody gets out, and for the first 2 or 3 laps, it's like it's bunched up. And then all of a sudden, going into that 4th lap, it started to spread apart. And you start seeing 1 or 2 guys or girls start separating themselves from everywhere else, from everyone else. Yeah. And that's the Tennessee Titans. They are in the pack where they're being left behind by the really good teams, Buffalo, Kansas City, Cincinnati. Who else you want to throw in there? Can't throw the Chargers in there. Well, we'll just say those 3 teams for now, those 3 teams. Well, those 3 teams are separating themselves from everybody else. The Titans are not in the back, like all the way in the back, but they're in that middle part, but they have no chance at catching those 3 or 4 teams, or 5 teams, Philadelphia, Minnesota, teams that have a really good record. They've already gone. They're done. You're not catching those guys. You're trying to hold on to the middle pack, and it seems like you're falling further back to the guys that have no shot at coming in 3rd, 4th, or 5th.
Got a couple of texts here. Chuck says, I don't know how many fans who felt this was a good team just based on how they failed against legitimate contenders. And I'm talking a few weeks. And look, when I say good to me means like, all right, yeah, okay, good defense. But the offense
playoff capable.
But the offense has had problems all year, and we've recognized that. We've talked about that. So I get that. Ron says, no, a good defense is all, which, again, a good defense, sometimes that's your best offense is a good defense. Another Matt says, Chase, good question. I think she's inexperienced, and that shows, and if she has the wrong people around her, it's going to crash the franchise. However, I think firing John Robinson was a good move. He needed to go. I don't give him much credit for the team's recent success. I don't know how you can't. I don't know how you.
How can you not give him credit?
Like, I think some fans, and Matt, good text, some fans forget he drafted Derrick Henry.
Exactly.
Like, they forget
he drafted Kevin Byard before
he drafted
Vrabel even got here.
He drafted Kevin Byard. He drafted Kevin Byard because Dick LeBeau came down here to Murfreesboro and watched him on his pro day and said, that's a player. And so John looked at him, and they ended up taking him. I mean, that's a fact. So did he miss? Yes. Oh, and also he drafted A.J. Brown. He traded him, but he drafted him.
He drafted all these guys. He drafted Jeffrey Simmons.
So
he drafted Harold Landry.
It's very easy when there's bad to just focus on the bad and forget about the good. But you can't forget about the good.
No.
And I think people do that sometimes with John Robinson. Coming up next, we'll talk to MTSU head basketball coach Nick McDevitt. He is going to join us live at our broadcast location as we are here at the Murphy Center at MTSU 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Tonight.
He scores! Predators break through. Yakov Trenin.
The Predators open their road trip with a matchup against the Jets. Pre-game at 6. Face-off at 7 on your home for Smashville. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and The Game Nashville app.
Have Hattie B's take care of all your holiday cooking. Hattie B's Holiday Family Meals. Hot ham, hot turkey, mashed potatoes, giblet gravy, and more. Place your orders before December 16th at events@HattieB.com. And you can pick up your order at the Hattie B's Test Kitchen at 450 Atlas Drive. Hattie B's Holiday Family Meals. So hot.
Family Leisure would like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. From our family to yours.
Merry Christmas.
Family Leisure is having a Christmas sale. Up to 50% off on everything in the store.
Wow, that really helps.
Arcade games, game tables, pool tables, even shuffleboard tables are on sale. Foosball and air hockey tables as low as $1.99 as well.
Those are great gifts for the family.
Family Leisure has spas in stock and on sale and ready for immediate delivery. Family Leisure's Christmas sale going on now.
Both huge locations, Franklin and Antioch.
Family and fun come together.
Harman Energy is now hiring drivers for their Nashville team. Harman Energy is Tennessee's petroleum solution for major industries. Right now, they're offering competitive compensation. Fuel tank wagon drivers start at $26 an hour. Fuel transport drivers, $29 an hour. Plus, there's a $4,000 sign-on bonus for CDL drivers. Top quality benefits and a great place to work, Harman Energy employees provide totally outrageous customer service. Come be an employee owner with the Harman team. Apply now at HarmanEnergy.com.
Nothing says I love you like the gift of jewelry. A sapphire ring, a diamond necklace, a colored gemstone earring, an anniversary band. And around here, the diamond destination is Genesis Diamonds. With decades of experience, our legendary value combined with worldwide connection, Genesis is here to help make this Christmas the most unforgettable ever. And to make it easy to splurge, our special 0% finance offer has been extended through Christmas Eve. So you can make any holiday purchase and spread your payments over 5 years and enjoy an interest rate of 0% with absolutely nothing down. Our showcases are filled with exquisite diamond rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, as well as a fabulous selection of luxury pre-owned Rolexes, starting as low as $35 a month with nothing down. And if you're planning an engagement this holiday season, this special finance offer includes all of our designer engagement rings and all GIA certified diamonds. Buy now, spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest and nothing down. Say I love you louder than ever this holiday with the gift of diamonds from Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills in Cool Springs. On approved credit.
Do you know a special woman who deserves nothing but the best for the holidays? This Christmas, spoil her with soft, silky, naturally nude pajamas. The next best thing to wearing nothing at all. Naturally nude pajamas, exclusively at Pajamagram, are smooth to the touch, light as air, truly seductive. Order today and Pajamagram will include a free matching naturally nude nightie. That's a $75 saving on a best-selling holiday gift. Yes, ordering today gets you a free $75 nightie. Definitely an effortless way to let her know how much you care. Now you can give her 2 sensuous gifts that she'll love to relax in. But hurry. Year after year, naturally nude pajamas sell out. So here's what you need to do. Head to pajamagram.com or text the word GIFT to 41234. That's GIFT to 41234. Order today, ships tomorrow.
Can't get enough Vanderbilt basketball?
Intercepted right all by himself for a one-hand flush.
Your home for the Commodores is 93.3 Classic Hits.
Put it up. It's good. Count it.
Join Coach Jerry Stackhouse and his team on their journey through the SEC.
Pulls a trigger. Yes, from 3.
Check out Vandy Hoops on 93.3 Classic Hits and the Classic Hits app.
This is Greg McElroy, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Chase, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason live at the Murphy Center at MTSU, my alma mater, as MTSU, the men's basketball team, will take on Chattanooga tonight to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Glass House here at the Murphy Center. And joining us now, Coach Nick McDevitt, head coach of the Blue Raiders. Coach, what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me this morning.
Yeah, thanks for having us. And excited. Derek's excited because shoot-around's going to be a little later, and he gets to watch that. He might get out there. If you need somebody to come out there and hoop it up with your guys, he might help.
We need another couple of scout team guys, so we can give him a red penny, a red jersey this morning, and make him the other team's shooter.
It was funny. We were at an event one time. I think it was an SEC basketball media days, and Bruce Pearl came and sat down, and we were like, so, you think Derek could fit? And he goes, let me tell you how this would work. I would draw up the play, and every time it would be get the ball to Derek. that's how that would go.
That's right.
You go to the athlete. But 7-3 to start the season, coming off a big win against Belmont. I know you're feeling pretty good about your squad right now.
Yeah, we are. We're starting to get a little bit healthier. Some of the guys that had some nicks and bruises are starting to get back into playing shape. Justin Buford had a torn meniscus and was out for a while after his surgery. So just having him, another starter, a team captain, just kind of allows us to spread out our team minutes. We like playing aggressive defensively. We play deep in our bench, and all of a sudden when you got a couple guys out like Jalen Jordan, who's obviously going to be out the whole year with his torn ACL, but you add JB to that mix, and now all of a sudden you can't play quite as deep as you want to and as aggressive as you want to because you're not 10 deep, you're 8 deep. And so just getting those guys, getting JB back, getting a couple of other guys just playing experience. Justin Porter had a really good trip when we went to Canada and played St. Bonnie's on the way back. So I like how our team is starting to kind of figure out their roles, and guys are getting more comfortable as the season goes along.
I don't think people realize sometimes how difficult it is to build a program. And, Kermit Davis had a lot of success here. He leaves, you take over, and it's taken a while. You've had to build depth, recruit, get the culture, but it feels like that has started to come together over the last few years because, as we were talking about, you didn't have a lot of depth when you first started here. Now you got that.
Yeah, all of a sudden, it happens everywhere, particularly these days. There are coaching changes, and then you see guys that aren't with the program anymore. They can hit the portal, and they're not there the next year. So our first couple of seasons, to your point, we were dressing 8 and 9 scholarship players, and now we're playing deeper than that. And that's just you have very little room for error when you're only dressing 8 scholarship players. A couple of guys get hurt or in foul trouble or just aren't playing well, and you can't win, particularly at a level like this. You've got to have some experience, some depth, some length, some athleticism, and quite honestly, we were missing almost all of that for a while. And so now just having an older team, an experienced team, enough bodies to keep throwing guys at our opponents, it's kind of where you need to be in order to be competitive at this level.
Coach Nick McDevitt is with us, head coach of the Blue Raiders, MTSU. The 50th anniversary of the Murphy Center was December 11th. This is the game commemorating that. Hard to believe that this place has been around that long. Such a cool building, the glass house, glass all the way around it. But how cool is it going to be to celebrate that tonight?
No, it's great. Just here we are sitting on the concourse, and you feel like you've got a great seat.
Oh, yeah.
And you're halfway up the arena when the bleachers that are up here are pulled back. There's not a bad seat in the house. There have been so many great events in here. I was telling somebody the other day that you think about there are some individuals, particularly in the mid-state area, that some of their most important and biggest moments of their life have been right in here.
Yeah.
Graduate from high school, because we host a lot of high school graduations.
Yep.
You may have graduated from your high school, your junior college, and MTSU, all in this building.
Yeah.
Come to concerts here for athletes. If you're fortunate enough to be on a really good high school basketball team, this is where the state playoffs are. If you come on to play at Middle Tennessee, like a lot of players from Blackman and Riverdale and a lot of the other high schools around the area, now you're playing your college ball here. So when you really start thinking about some individuals that have had big life moments, they're in this building. So it's a lot more than just glass and concrete and seats. It's a really special place. And honestly, to be built at the doorstep of our university makes it that much more of just an iconic building in the mid-state area.
There's a lot of history in these seats,
That's a good way to say it.
And that's a wonderful thing, a lot of good history. Now, Coach, you talked about the depth and at one point you were only going 8 deep with scholarship players. How do you and your coaching staff navigate that to try to get, to try to build that depth, one, but then try to take advantage of that depth early on so you know who you can depend on later on in the season?
Yeah, you're just trying to always force other teams, too, to play a little bit deeper than perhaps they're comfortable going. And I think when you play more of an up-tempo style, an aggressive defensive style, it forces us, too, to play deep into our bench. And so you don't have guys that your 9th or 10th guy, they know they're playing. They know they're going in. So you don't have as many, and this is our philosophy, you don't have disgruntled players that when they're not starting, because there's some, in some styles, the 8th, 9th, 10th man, they don't go in. They don't get in the games. Because the tempo doesn't dictate that their top 7 or 8 guys are that tired. And so for us, if we played 6 or 7 deep with the tempo that we play at, those guys would be dead with about 10 to go in the game. And so our players just they know they're going to be counted on. Our practices are up tempo, they're intense, and it just carries over to the game. So our players seem to enjoy playing that way, and in order to do that, to your point, in order to do that, you've got to have 9, 10, 11 guys you know you can count on.
Now, when do you think that started, sort of? Because we've seen that in football where we can kind of sort of pinpoint that up-tempo offense where it started to kick in, and then everybody started to mirror it, and now it's just a common thing, up-tempo. So now you're able to defend it a little bit better. Not to say it's great, but you're able to defend it a little bit better. When did that become a thing in college basketball where it's up-tempo, and a lot of, guys in and out?
Yeah, I think, because there's so many skilled players these days, more teams are able to play 5 out, 4 round 1, 5 round none. Big guys that can shoot threes and are some of the best passers on the team at times are the 6'10", 7-foot guys.
See everybody.
Hey, that's right. They can see everybody, but they can also shoot the ball. You look at the kind of the pro model, the NBA model. It's a lot of 5 out. It's high scoring. The fans enjoy seeing it. You watch attendance records continue to go up. And I think some of the rules, obviously, are also geared towards high scoring and the offensive side of the ball. And so you've got to be able to adjust to that and be able to recruit to that as well.
We're talking with Nick McDevitt, MTSU's head basketball coach. Now, you spoke early that when you first got here, it was like, okay, we got to build this thing up because we don't have much, but we got a plan. Now, did that plan also include, the portal guys? How do you sort of handle that as a new coach?
As a
new coach
last 5 years
at a new university? Because some coaches, when they first get a job, they want to, hit the ground running. So they bring in these guys from the portal. And then a year or two later, you see the program dip.
Yeah.
So how did you and your coaching staff navigate that?
Well, we tried to not overdo it in any one area. Tried to build it with a core group that would not only grow old here at middle, but grow old together. And then in the meantime, be able to intermix that, I guess, with transfer guys, because you've got to find a way to get old. I think there's some leagues that you can afford to be really young and still be good. Well, at the highest level, you can be young and still be good because you got a bunch of pros.
Exactly.
You got one and done guys. Your talent level is really high. And I think sometimes at low major or perhaps the high D2 level, you can have some younger guys that you kind of stole one. And although he's young, he's a lot more talented than the juniors and seniors perhaps in that league. You just don't see that at this level. When you're young and inexperienced, it's usually a bad combo. And so we knew we were going to kind of take our lumps for a while with young players, but that eventually those guys that now they're old. Eli Lawrence, Tyler Millen, Christian Fussell, Jared Jones, some of those guys that they've been in college, but they've been here for 3 or 4 years. And now all of a sudden you get a Teophile Leonard, who is a high-level talent, a high-level athlete. He's young, but when you can intersperse that and a Justin Buford with an older team, and not only are they old, they're old together. That's what we were wanting to eventually be able to get to.
The portal, NIL, those are things that have really changed college sports.
Dramatically, yes.
We're seeing NIL dip down into the high school level now.
Yep.
How can you plan for that, or is that really a thing that you kind of have to take it one day at a time as it evolves?
It is evolving, and it's all happening at once.
Yeah.
It's not like you're dealing with just the portal. And you've got to get used to it, or just NIL and the ability for players to earn money. But you're dealing with the same players every year. It's both at the same time, and so the landscape is changing really fast. And I think you've got to adapt with it because it's here to stay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you've got to be really smart with how you administer those things. I think. They're in a lot of aspects, it's kind of a pro model, and it's trying to do that and still remain an amateur association is a fine line.
No doubt, for sure. Coach, appreciate it. Thanks for coming on with us. Good luck tonight against Chattanooga.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
He's Coach Nick McDevitt of MTSU. Joining us here at the Murphy Center, the 50th anniversary celebration tonight. You can go to GoBlueRaiders.com, get tickets in the end zone at throwback prices for $4. So go do that. Let's pack this place tonight as MTSU takes on Chattanooga. And we'll have more coming here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
185! Every team needs a quarterback.
185!
That's why we have
Hasselbeck, bootleg, rollout, toss, touchdown!
Tim. ESPN NFL analyst Tim Hasselbeck gives his expertise on all things NFL.
How that team is built, I think there's a lot to like about them.
Every Tuesday at noon, Tim with Chase, Willy, and D-Mase. Presented by Red Spirit and Wine in Bellevue on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
We'll finally start to see more sunshine today, and we're going to stay dry, but we're going to get colder too, with high temperatures around 50 this afternoon. Tonight, we'll see partly cloudy skies with low temperatures falling to near freezing. For Fox 17, I'm meteorologist Brett Lindell.
Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Hey guys, it's the holiday season again. But if you and your partner are having issues because of erectile dysfunction, maybe your ho 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 is a bit more like a no no no. And if that's what's going on between you and your partner, it's probably time to call the Tennessee Men's Clinic. See, the problem with ED is that it can affect the one you love more than you might know. And getting your ED treated can often have amazing impacts on your relationship. In truth, it might be the best gift you can give to the one you love this season. The medical team at the Tennessee Men's Clinic are experts in treating ED, offering therapies having success rates as high high as 90%. Their group of medical professionals can provide many different treatment options and treatment combinations to get you the results you're hoping for. You could even have great sex the day after your first appointment, and you might find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. So call the Tennessee Men's Clinic today. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes a PSA and testosterone test, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatment, sex, results vary.
Need cash for the holidays or to pay off credit cards right now? Loan Pronto's all-new Express Equity Line of Credit program is just what you need. This is great. You can keep your low mortgage rate and still get cash out. That's right. You don't have to do a full home refi. You can tap a small portion of the equity you have and enjoy a super low rate. With Loan Pronto's Express Equity Credit Line, you can close in 7 to 10 days, and a $50,000 loan will come your way, and it only costs you around $300 a month. Use that money to pay off whatever bills you have, credit cards, consolidate other debt, or start a home improvement project. With Loan Pronto, you can access up to 95% of your home's equity, and 9 out of 10 homeowners won't even need the appraisal. Even if you did a total refi recently or just bought your home, you can tap the equity with this fast, easy program. Do it now before the holidays. Call Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender.
You can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Jared Stillman.
If you get 3 games where he doesn't turn the ball over, you're going to the Super Bowl.
Caroline Fenton.
I don't know if he would be open to joining another team.
Stillman and Company. Afternoons from 2 to 6.
Presented by TriStar Moving.
On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app. This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willy, D-Mase, Whitney Houston, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason here with you. Appreciate Coach Nick McDevitt for joining us at the Murphy Center. College sports, even high school sports in general right now, Derek, is just nuts. And we knew it would be.
Yeah.
And look, it's funny. I've always said, like, when it comes to transfers that you should get one.
Yeah.
Get one because a decision you make at 17, 18 years old, may not be the right one and could be different as you get older. You may agree to go play for one coach that leaves, and you're like, hey, that's not what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And
you should be able to transfer.
Yeah,
if
look
that happens.
at Caleb Williams, who just won the Heisman.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he went with his coach.
Yeah.
I get that. That's fine, but there's a fine line too. Of how much can you move around. How much does NIL factor in? I mean, I look at a program like MTSU in that, if they get hit on a kid that they recruit out of high school and he's really, really talented, I mean, unfortunately, he's probably gone. He's probably going to transfer to, a bigger program just because they're going to have the resources. And, now you got NIL at the high school level, which I really don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I do know how I feel about that. I don't like it.
I don't like it. I'm just telling you. I don't. I understand some of the situations where I can understand or empathize because, listen, I hadn't always had the means to do the things and to build the life that I have. So don't think when you're listening to me, people, oh, you got, but no, I haven't always had money, believe me. My family, my mom and dad were working parents. And, you know, we had what we needed, but we didn't have what we want. So, and even before that, sometimes we didn't have what we needed at times.
Right.
So I do get that, but it just brings on so much pressure for these kids. They can't be kids anymore, man.
No.
It's like, you know, at 14, 15 years old, I can remember, man, I was just going to school, doing my homework, enjoying life. You know, I wasn't even playing sports at the time. I was just enjoying life, man, and playing with my brothers and sisters. And, you know, we didn't have much, but we had each other. But I didn't have to worry about, hey, I got to be the breadwinner for my family. That's a lot of stress to put on an adult, let alone a little kid that's 14, 15 years old. And then when you open it up, NIL for high school, you know, for sports. Well, what does that, if look at it from a psychological standpoint, look at it from a mental standpoint, what is that doing to these kids when they feel as if at 15, 16 years old, just getting into high school, not only do I got to worry about my grades, my friends, peer pressure, all this other stuff, now I got to worry about being a damn breadwinner for my family.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
It is.
And these people that are making the decision don't give a damn about that. They don't care.
Nope.
You know what their thing is? This is what y'all want. Here you go. Y'all deal with it the way y'all going to deal with it. And I think that's unfair, and I get it. Some parents, that extra money means a lot to them.
Yes.
It does. So I get that part. But also, you got to think about the pressure that is being put on that kid. Like, if he doesn't make it, then all of a sudden he thinks it's his fault or her fault that I'm no longer getting, you know, NIL deal. Or if I don't get any NIL deals, period.
Right.
Now it's just like everybody's pointing at the kid to make the money.
Let me ask you this. Why'd you retire from the NFL?
Because I wasn't having fun anymore.
Right.
I didn't enjoy it.
You were mentally done.
Exactly.
Physically,
I probably could have. I'm not gonna say probably. I could have won another 2 seasons.
Yeah.
But mentally, I was just done.
And you were how old?
I was 37, 36 years old.
Okay. And that's normal.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And you had a hell of a career.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here's going to be the problem, though. Because of all the stress that's now being added to these kids, and the key word there is kids, they're going to be mentally done by 22. And like, what is that going to do? You know, they got to get to the league.
Exactly.
Whether it's the NFL, the NBA, what have you. They got to get that contract.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I look at a guy, and this is before all of this started. But look at Andrew Luck. Look at Jake Locker. These are guys that they retired early because they were mentally done.
Exactly.
You're just adding even more to it now with some of this stuff. Do I agree that college players should get paid? Yes.
I agree with that.
They should. They should. But high school, putting this kind of pressure on a 16, 17, 18-year-old kid that doesn't know any better, especially – you know, look, I was very fortunate. I went to a private school, okay? I get that. Say what you want. I was fortunate. I recognize that. Not everybody gets to do that. There are kids that come from, you know, low income and don't have a lot and just happen to be blessed with talent and they make something for themselves. Well, as you said, Derek, like now some of those kids are going to be the breadwinner for their family, and that's pressure that a 15, 16-year-old kid shouldn't have. Now, it's great that they you know are getting that, but I think parents are going to put pressure on them. You know, their coaches are trying to make them better players, but it used to be, you know, I'm trying to help you get ready for your future. Well, your future is now, before you're ready for it, and I'm just worried. I'm worried of where it's going to take things, and it's an interesting dynamic and an interesting discussion of where we are in collegiate sports and our amateur sports.
It's not even collegiate sports.
Yeah.
It's let's call it what it is. It's professional sports on every level. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Because when you start getting paid, you are considered a professional because you're getting paid for your services in this sport, in the realm of athletics. It was considered, not a professional sport because these kids wasn't getting paid. But now you might as well. It's professional from the minute they can start earning NIL till the minute they make it to the NBA, MLB, NFL, or they get on these circuits and they become pros at golf or tennis. And I understand what some people are saying too. Well, these kids that play golf and tennis, they can get money, when they were young too. And you're absolutely right. But we're not. At that point in time, we were not talking about the whole. We were talking about a few people possibly having the ability to earn. Meaning they were that good that they had the ability to earn money. Now these kids, the minute they get into high school, I believe this is when it started. When it starts, the minute they get in high school, at the age of, what are you, 14 years old? When you get in high school?
Yeah.
So if you are a 14-year-old kid going into high school and people consider you one of the best kids in the country, girl or boy, you're going to start getting money. And that's cool. But now you're going to start having to be in some cases, the breadwinner for the whole family. I think that's unfair. That's too much pressure to be putting on a kid at 14 years old. That, okay, now I got to go out here and perform every week. Every week I got to go out here and perform because I got to keep this NIL deal for my family.
Right. It's
just tough.
It's something.
It's tough.
It's something for sure. Coming up next, how can the Titans stay positive through the tough spell that they're in right now? We'll discuss that coming up next. Chase, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Stuck at work without a radio?
Wait a minute, disastrous.
I hate that.
It's got to be there.
That's okay. Download the Game Nashville app or go to thegamenashville.com and listen live. We are Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
312 Pizza Company is the official sponsor and location of Southeastern Carolines with Caroline Fenton.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
This message is for the guy who isn't perfect in the bedroom. And let's be honest, who is? Maybe the issue is getting it up or keeping it up, or maybe it's finishing too soon. If any of these performance hiccups sound familiar to you, don't sweat it. Hims can help. At 4hims.com, you can go online and get clinically proven prescription medication that treats these issues, prescribed for you, if appropriate, by licensed medical providers. And the medication is shipped free to your door in discreet packaging. Plus, Hims gives you unlimited follow-up visits with medical providers. No one's perfect in the bedroom every time, but with Hims, you can get a lot closer than before. And chances are, your partner will agree.
To get started today, go to 4hims.com/perfect. That's 4hims.com/perfect for your free visit. FORHIMS.com/PERFECT.
Response to Genesis Diamond's remarkable free financing offer has been so incredible that we're extending it through Christmas Eve. Last minute shoppers, we've got you covered with 5 years zero interest financing on any purchase with $0 down. So you can splurge on that handcrafted diamond ring and spread it over 60 whole months. Studs, bracelets, necklaces, bands, every color and every shape, starting at only $35 a month with $0 down. You can use this amazing offer on anything. Designer engagement rings, classics like diamond pendants and bracelets. All our hand-selected GIA certified diamonds are included, and so are our luxury pre-owned Rolexes. At Genesis, we've got our best collection ever, with case after case of stunning gifts that are romantic and timeless. And with Genesis guaranteed best value price and 5 years zero interest, zero down financing offer, you can make this the best Christmas ever and still stay in budget. Merry Christmas from Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs, on approved credit.
When joint pains cause you to sit out on everyday activities, it's time to make an appointment with Dr. Matthew Beal at Houston Clinic Orthopedics. Dr. Beal can diagnose your problem and treat the joint pain for both surgical and non-surgical matters. Board certified and fellowship trained, Dr. Beal specializes in hip, knee, joint replacement, and adult joint reconstruction. Visit tn.houston.com to learn more about Dr. Beal and to book an appointment online. Houston Clinic Orthopedics, when experience matters.
Have you ever noticed that when the afternoon light hits your floors, you can see everything, including dust?
So much dust.
And that floor dust gets kicked up into the air, compromising the quality of air you and your family breathe.
Eesh.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper is the fast and easy way to clean your floors, with ultra-thick pads that trap and lock dust before it gets in the air. Just a couple minutes a day,
and dust is gone.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper. Proud partner of the American Lung Association.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Live from the Game Nashville studios. WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Nashville's exclusive home for the Nashville Predators. 102.5 and 106.3.
A gunny performance. Do your job.
And the Tigers regain the lead.
The Game.
A Cromwell media station.
These are battles, these are grind. We don't panic, we don't freak out. That's how we're built. 1, 2, 3, 9.
This is the Drive to the Playoffs, brought to you by Coleman Tractor on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game in the Game Nashville app.
Tennessee Titans head coach Mike Vrabel addressed the media prior to practice here on Wednesday afternoon, and ESPN NFL Nation reporter Teron Davenport asked the head coach about self-inflicted wounds on his offense.
False starts with the offensive line. Like, what are you guys doing to get better in that department and just get that
trying
offensive
to tell,
line?
you know what I mean? Tell Nick to wait for the ball to snap. I mean, I think Nick's leading the league, so focusing. You know, again, it's not always, and it's not just Nick. I just know that he's got the majority of them, I think. You know, sometimes in our zest to get them, we get ourselves. We've been okay, I would say, trying to handle the road environment, which is crazy. You know, when we're on a silent, I think we're locked in, and so sometimes when Ryan, you know, has a voice inflection or things happen, you know, just have to make sure that we're focused in, and you know, we continue to practice those things. We work on a cadence when we condition and we run. You'll see us do that again today.
That was Tennessee Titans head coach Mike Vrabel talking about how his offense can adjust for self-inflicted wounds prior to their game in Los Angeles against the Chargers on Sunday. This report has been brought to you by the Coleman Tractor Company.
Now let's see if we can bring them to life, all right?
Bringing you entertainment and informative sports talk during your workday.
Smart, funny, classy, and I like him a lot.
This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase with Chase McCabe, Willy Donick,
Touchdown, Tennessee.
and former NFL wide receiver Derek Mason. Presented by Hair Club. Hair Club. Love your hair. Live your life. On Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. We're live at the Murphy Center, MTSU, taking on Chattanooga tonight, the 50th anniversary celebration of this building, the Glass House. I've seen basketball games. I've seen concerts. Been part of state finals here. I've called some games here. So a lot of history in this building. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason with you. Willy Donick going to join us here in a few minutes, or a few hours, I should say. He's in Winnipeg getting ready for the Predators to take on the Jets. I'll have pregame for you tonight at 6. But how do you stay positive if you're the Tennessee Titans when you're going through such a hard spell that they've been going through right now? And Mike Vrabel, to me, is the type of coach that you would want in a situation like this. He talked yesterday about teaching lessons and being positive with the team when they're not playing well.
Like you hear coaches say that, you know, it's easier to teach lessons when you're winning
when you're losing, do you find yourself being more positive, I guess, to try to get it turned around?
Well, I mean, I think that we all understand. I mean, this is professional football, and I think you have to be consistent. I try to coach the action and not the result. I really do. Whether we win or we lose, I try to coach things that come up in the game that have to be improved, things that I recognize that we did well. And I think by what I mean is, if you give up contain or something and you make a play, you still have to recognize, say, hey, the next time that's going to be a huge gain. That quarterback that can scramble is going to be out of there. There's an element to, making a play, but, sometimes just because the play was favorable, you may have not necessarily done your job. And so I try to use those examples to them and saying, whether we win or lose, there's going to be things that we're going to have to improve, and then the things that we have to eliminate, such as the turnovers or the poor situational football at the end of the half, not affecting the quarterback, things that we know will get us beat.
That's Mike Vrabel yesterday talking to the media. So, when you think about, we were just talking about high school and collegiate sports. Okay, you're coaching kids then. You have to know as a coach when to pick your battles, when to be tough on a kid, when to be positive, have the positive reinforcements. It's different in the NFL because we always hear these are grown men. They're making millions of dollars. Yeah. But it's still, at the end of the day, coaching is coaching, and you have to know the balance. I think Mike Vrabel knows the balance. How did you look at it, when you played, of if you were in a rough patch, whether individually or as a team, how did you deal with it to stay positive and know that eventually it can turn itself around?
I think it again, and I've said this for the longest. In regards, when it comes to me, I can't look to the coach to motivate me. I can't look to the coach to get me out of a slump. I have to figure out a way. Now, the coach can, give me some tools, some things that may help me, but then I have to take what he or she has given me and put it into practice along with the things I have been doing. So eventually, because I've taken what the coach has said and my ability to play the game on a physical and mental level, I got to take all of that, but I got to go out and do what's necessary to get myself out of that funk. And that's how a team is. Yes, the coach can give you the tools. The coordinator can give you a game plan. We can practice that game plan, and we can, get that game plan to a T, which gives us confidence going into the game. But ultimately, during the game, the coaches ain't playing. It's the players. So we got to figure out a way to get ourselves out of that slump. The coach can't do it. He on the sideline.
Yeah.
Now, he has to know the temperature of this team. He has to know when to make a substitution or make a change in a lineup. He has to know that. But as far as like motivating and getting guys to go or getting their team go, there's only so much a coach can do. The rest falls on the team and the players.
Right.
The coach can motivate, and he can walk in that building and say all the right things, and I've seen it. But if the guys don't go out and take it upon themselves to do the things that is going to cause change, then I don't care what that coach says, he or she. It's not going to happen. So in the Titans situation, yes, Vrabel's going to say all the right things. Vrabel understands sometimes the way other coaches don't because he's played and he's been in the trenches. Some coaches haven't, not to that degree anyway. But he understands the balance that you have to have with your ball club. Like, listen, I could come in here and I got to give you a message every day, and I hope that message resonates. It may not resonate on everybody, but if it resonates on the leaders, then the leaders are going to filter it down. And the team only goes so far as their leader takes them, meaning the guys on the field. Because, again, the coach isn't playing. In no sport do I know where the coach actually plays, So with that being said, it's up to the guys to go out there and the girls to go out there and make a change. Again, he or she can say all the great words, and you can videotape it, and years later you can replay it, and it'll motivate kids. It'll motivate high school kids and possibly even college kids. But when it comes to pro guys, it's different.
Sure.
A lot of that stuff comes from within.
Well, okay, so you bring up the leaders. Coming up next, who are the true leaders on this team, and how much do you trust them to do what needs to be done, knowing the situation that they're in? We'll discuss that coming up next. You can weigh in as well at 615-737-1025. It's Chase, Willy, and D-Mase. We're presented by Hair Club. Hair Club, love your hair, live your life, creating custom hair loss solutions for men and women. More coming here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Every Wednesday at 2:45.
Sanders for the touchdown, 48 yards.
Former NFL wide receiver Chris Sanders joins Stillman and Company to give his thoughts on all things Titans and NFL. Fueled by Parman Energy, now hiring fuel drivers. Apply now at ParmanEnergy.com on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
So, you think you know whiskey? Oil Fire, a dangerously seductive spirit, is finally here. You will like it. She will love it. Oil Fire 70 proof whiskey. There is nothing like it.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Joe Rexrode here, inviting you to start NFL Week 15 off right with an NFL same-game parlay insurance from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Does not matter if you're new to FanDuel or if you have an account. You're going to get free bets back if your 4+ leg Thursday night same-game parlay falls one of the short NFL same-game parlays. Of course, perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payday. Tonight, we got a good one. I'm excited about this one. Some Niners, Seahawks, a little NFC West battle. If I was doing a parlay, I would go Niners. I like how they're playing. I think they look like a contender, even with Brock Purdy at QB. I like Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown. I also think Geno Smith under on the passing yards would be a pick, and I think under overall for this game. You do whatever you want. Build your own or choose from one of the popular same-game parlays pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. However you want to play, bet the NFL Thursday night with same-game parlay. Sign up promo code JONA2 if you don't have an account. If you do, you're all set. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older in present Tennessee. Refund issue is now double free bets. Expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $25. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbet.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 800-889-9789.
We want to hear from you.
Thanks for taking the call.
Join the conversation. Call or text at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
I'm ready to step this up a notch.
You're listening to Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Well, it first starts with my mindset and my positivity and my energy that I bring every single day into this building. I think it's a quote that's going around the building right now. It says a rising tide, kind of raises all the boats around you. So you have to be that tide of that energy, great mentality, every single day to try to raise the energy level and raise the positive vibes around here with everybody. So that's what I try to do every single day as a leader, just try to bring great energy, try to bring a positive mindset and hope that'll rub off on somebody else.
That's Kevin Byard, the mayor of Murfreesboro, where we are today. Titans safety and Blue Raider as well. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason here with you at the Murphy Center, keeping a positive vibe in the locker room. Mm-hmm. Now, I asked you the leaders, the Tennessee Titans. I would put Kevin Byard up at the top of that.
I think, to me, I think Kevin is the unquestioned leader in that locker room. I think across the board. I know you have Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry, but I think because of his play, because of his consistency, and his availability, he is the unquestioned leader in that locker room. He's most definitely the leader on that defensive side of the ball. But I think when he talks, the team listens. When in regards to Kevin Byard. Now we can throw out other leaders. Obviously, Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, Jeffrey Simmons, guys like that have been there. Ben Jones, guys that have been there, that have been through the so-so seasons and also been through the really good seasons. So this team has enough leaders in the Tennessee Titans. They have enough leaders, but they don't have enough talent. They don't have enough depth. Having a leader is great, and every team or organization needs it. Business need it. But if you don't have the depth, the workers, the talent to win ball games consistently or to elevate your company consistently, then you're just going to have a leader at the top. You're not going to have a successful, whether it be organization or business, because even with a great leader, you need some great workers as well.
We're going to talk to Herm Edwards at 12:30, and I'm really looking forward to that conversation, the coach from ESPN, and get his thoughts on this. I mean, I agree with you, because the leadership group, I don't question that at all with the Titans, whether it's Kevin Byard, Jeffrey Simmons, Derrick Henry, Ben Jones, as you mentioned, Ryan Tannehill. I put him up there. I mean,
even Robert Woods to an extent.
Yeah, he's a veteran.
He understands the league. He understands winning culture. So
yeah. I mean, and look, I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody that's up there. Nate Davis has become one of those guys. I'm not worried about that, but you're right. It's the talent. It's the depth. It's the fact that the injuries have caught up to him. I mean, Ola Adeni, they released this week. He was a guy that I thought they loved.
Obviously, they didn't love him that much.
Yeah, I mean, they decided
maybe John loved him.
Yeah, they moved on, and he was trying to sign with Pittsburgh, where he was before.
I think he still will, but they had
he failed
made
physical.
He failed the physical?
He failed the physical.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so he's a free agent right now. And that, I mean, ultimately, if he's failing the physical there, that's probably why they moved on here.
Exactly.
Something with the medicals there. But, it's can they have the horses? Do they have the horses to finish out strong? I mean, this is going to be a tough test because I think the Chargers are playing much better than they did earlier in the year.
They're
coming off a big win on Sunday night. They're healthier. Herbert looks the part. He's healthy. So that one's going to be tough. You can say what you want about Houston. Houston's not a very good team, but the Titans aren't a very good team right now. I mean, that's kind of the thing.
Houston gave Dallas last week a run for their money, and to be honest, they should have won that game.
Probably should have won the game.
They should have won that game, but they didn't because obviously, hey, listen, the Cowboys were just more talented. than the Houston Texans, and they held on for as long as possible. But, you know, you look at the Titans and you just look at who they have remaining on their schedule. And it starts this week with the LA Chargers. This is 6 weeks ago, we didn't think that the last 5 games would be this critical. We didn't. We thought, if anything, hey, listen, they may have one loss in there, and that's to the Cowboys possibly, because at the time the Chargers were not playing well. They didn't look good. They were not healthy. Fast forwarded 6 weeks later, now we're looking at this schedule like, man, you know, we haven't gotten guys back. We're injured. The Chargers are getting healthier. They're getting their key guys back. They got their 2 stud wide receivers back. They're getting guys back on defense. Jaguars look good.
Yeah.
You know, they're a young team, but they look good. Houston is one of those teams that, listen, they're a bad team, but if you don't walk into that game prepared and ready to go, they can beat you. They have enough to beat you on any day. They're a bad team, but they got just enough to beat you on any day. And then Indianapolis, they're just a dumpster fire. But even being a dumpster fire, if you don't walk into the building with a game plan on how to beat this Indianapolis coach, they too can make you pay. Luckily, the Titans don't play them anymore.
So how do you feel for the last 4 games? How do you feel this is going to go? They're at the Chargers, Houston here, then the short week, Dallas here, and then they're at Jacksonville to close out the season. I think they're going to go 2-2 down the stretch.
I see 2-2, but they can't have any more injuries. They can't. They got to start getting guys healthy, mainly that front 7. I don't know if Jeffrey Simmons is ever going to be healthy this season. He says he's still playing at a high level. But if you watch the film, he has dipped, and he's dipped not because, you know, he can't play. It's because of the injury. But he's not going to make an excuse for that, and I understand it. So if Jeffrey can't get healthier moving forward, if they don't eventually get Danico Autry back, which I think they will, you know, if Bud Dupree continues to play the way he's been playing in and out of the lineup, and if they don't get their corners back, I can't see 2-2 is being generous.
Yeah.
You know, 2-2 is being generous, saying, okay, the last 4 games, they're going to go 2-2. Well, if these guys, if they don't start getting these guys back, or if they start having more injuries, 2-2 may be generous. It may be more like 1-3, and that only win being at Houston.
Yeah, you might be right. I mean, because look, I don't think they're going to win this weekend, and I don't think they're going to beat Dallas. And then the other 2 are toss-ups.
Exactly.
I mean, really, Houston, I think they should win, but it's a toss-up at this point. 615-737-1025. Let's go to JP. He wants to weigh in and has a question for D-Mase. JP, welcome in.
Hey, guys. Hey, I was wondering, D-Mase, what is – you guys talk all the time about field physicals, and you got to take the physical. What is an NFL physical like versus us normal folk who, you know, they listen to our heart, turn our head and cough, touch our toes, you know, for the ladies, it's put your feet up and spread them.
Oh boy.
I'll let you guys go. Let me know.
Well, thank you, JP. What's the difference between just a normal routine physical that, you know, we all get compared to a physical that an athlete gets at the professional level? I think it's more in depth. I think it's, you know, they are looking for things, like truly looking for things, you know, within your body. I think if you just go for a regular checkup, you know, they're making sure you're okay, but they're not really going in depth and your history and all this other stuff, which they should, and you can press for them to do that, and they would have to. But I think when you get to this professional level, because there's so much money involved, that physical becomes more in depth. They take their time more with it, and because they want to make sure they cross every T and dot every I, because they don't want to miss something. And then once they sign a girl or a guy, 2 months later, something shows up.
Right.
That's the last thing you want. So it's a little bit more invasive and in depth than I think just a regular physical that we go out and get. Guys, hey, listen, they feeling around your abdominal area, making you cough, checking certain areas, but then that's really the extent of it, unless you've had previous problems. The NFL, they're looking for everything. NBA, MLB, hockey, they're looking for everything because there is a lot of money that is going to be invested in that particular player. So they want to make sure you're all right.
Yeah, no, and I mean you have to. You have to make it as thorough as possible. And I think it was a good question. I kind of thought about too. What's the difference? Randy on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Do you think it would be beneficial for Amy Adams-Strunk to address the team, make it private, let her explain her decision, maybe apologize and answer questions? Thoughts? Number one, if she hasn't done that by now, then yes, I do think she should address the team, and I would hope she probably has already. That should have been done right then and there.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, for me being here, we didn't have to go through any of that because we didn't fire a GM or fire a head coach. Jeff Fisher and Floyd Reese were here.
Yeah.
For all of my 8 years.
You didn't want to hear from Bud anyway.
Yeah, it was like, hey, listen, if Bud's coming, something's wrong. But no, he didn't address the team in regards to that. But he did come out every once in a while and did address the team. Whenever we played Houston, he would fly in, obviously, and would have something to say to the team. But no.
Do you think Bud knew your name?
No. Nope. No. I remember he called me they were doing this, at the end of the year, the sort of like the award thing. I don't know. And he called me a scat back. I'm like, what in the hell? I'm not no damn scat back. What are you talking about, man? Like, what are you talking about, dude? I'm not a scat back. Like, what the? He went back in the day with that one. I said, no, I'm a receiver and a return man. That's who I am.
You walk up there and go, Steve, it's good. Just thanks so much for everything you do for our club.
But I'll tell you about that off air. But, I mean, I do. And I'm sure Amy, as she has in previous years, she's addressed the team for whatever particular reason. And I'm sure that she's addressed the team in some way. Now, if she hasn't, you hope she will.
Yeah.
But then again, if she doesn't, I guess she leaves Mike to address the team.
Yeah, I think it would be the right thing to do.
I think the guys would appreciate that if she did that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it would be. But good question from Randy on our text line. Coming up next, we'll get into the Predators. They play Winnipeg tonight, and it's been a 4-game losing streak for them. John Hines was on with Robbie and Rexroad this morning. Here's some of him. We'll do that coming up next. 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
This is Colton Sissons, and this is Smashville.
Feeds now, Sissons coming onto the left circle, and Colton Sissons puts it in the net.
This is the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network. ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Achieve hero status this year. The woman in your life will love this unique and thoughtful gift. Always in style, always fits, always appreciated. Choose your budget, and whether you spend a little or go lavish, she can choose from 10 different services, all under one roof at a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa. Gift cards can be printed directly from the website, or they can be beautifully wrapped for a stunning presentation and even paired with other gifts like robes, candles, and all sorts of fun finds from the Gift Boutique. Learn more about this at amomentspeace.com/Christmas.
The choice is yours, Wednesdays at 8:45. Brought to you by Jarrett Companies. Now hiring experienced sprinkler experts. Go to jarrettfire.com. JARRETT fire.com. Jarrett Companies, a company above and beyond industry standards.
Give the gift of luxury this holiday season. Nothing is more elegant than a trip to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Gift cards from Bob's Steakhouse or Mocara Day Spa make wonderful gifts for any occasion, especially during the holidays. The foodie in your life will enjoy an evening of fine dining from the award-winning Bob's Steakhouse. Bob's Steakhouse specializes in serving big, flavorful steaks next to Texas-sized portions of delicious sides. The special person in your life will be comforted with the gift of relaxation and rejuvenation when they receive a gift card to Mocara Day Spa. Let the spoiling begin with a soothing facial, hot stone massage, body treatment, salon service, or mani-pedi. Bob's Steakhouse and Mocara Day Spa in the luxurious Omni Nashville Hotel. Purchase your gift cards today.
When Smashville wants to rock. We are Nashville's rock station. 102.9 The Buzz.
Jonathan Hutton.
You have to put the ball in his hands in that moment.
And Chad Withrow.
My kicker's making no decisions on a football team.
Are in the game. Join them for NFL postgame after every Titans home game. Live from Landshark Bar and Grill in Margaritaville on Broadway. They'll break down that day's game and look ahead to the next one. NFL postgame is presented by Two Rivers Ford, Renter's Warehouse, and Superbook Sports on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Mookie Betts. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
When our power play is at its best, it's got motion and skating. I'm going to go back to that word again. It has to play faster. It has to be more attacking. It can't be as static. You know, we get in trouble when Yossi's the only guy moving. When Yossi runs the blue line and nobody else moves, that's why we split it up. When it becomes static in today's game with the pressure, you can't play standing still on the flanks. So, you know, we need to get more movement there. The other thing is you have to have a shot mentality. We have to drive more plays into the slot, whether it's a shot tip, whether it's a shot for the rebound, whether it's a seam pass. You have to get more plays in that area of the ice. And then if they connect, a lot of times it's a real quality scoring chance. But if they don't connect, now you're in a puck recovery situation, and then you have to be able to attack right out of that and not go back to resetting it. Once there's a shot or there's a slot driving play, scoring chance, if there's no scoring chance, there's a retrieval. Right out of that retrieval, you got to make the next play right away. And right now, sometimes our guys want to go back and reset and get in their positions and do it again. And that's been last year it was automatic. This year it's been it's been good at times, but it hasn't been good enough.
That's John Hines, Predators head coach, on with Robbie and Rexroad earlier this morning. Welcome back in, Chase, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. You can weigh in 615-737-1025. That's our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. The power play is a major concern for this team right now because they're getting the chances. The penalty kills look pretty good. They're getting the chances, but they're not burying them on the power play, and that's something that has to improve with this team if they're going to do anything moving forward. I looked the other night as they played the Edmonton Oilers, and I get it. The Edmonton Oilers have two of the best players in the National Hockey League, but they had a ton of power play opportunities and did nothing. They had none. And they had two. Edmonton had two.
And they scored.
Yeah, with McDavid and Draisaitl. So, it continues to add up, and that was John Hines' explanation on getting those chances. But I even think they're not burying chances 5-on-5. Scoring in general, even though they put 3 goals up the other night against Edmonton, is not where it needs to be, and that's something that they got to figure out soon.
Yeah, they do. In discussing this with, and Willie, he brought up the fact, listen, you in this league right now, in order to, be one of those upper echelon teams, you have to be averaging more than 2 goals a game. You have to. Now, if you're holding opponents to a goal a game or 2 goals a game and you're averaging 2.5 or 3 goals a game, then, yeah, you could possibly get away with it. But this league has seen their goal output go up. It's sort of like, the NFL. We've seen, teams become more sort of pass happy because that's the way the league is going. And if you're not capable of doing that, then you're going to struggle, i.e. Tennessee Titans. Well, the Nashville Predators are the same. If scoring is up a tick, but you're below or right at the average, then you're going to have problem winning games consistently, And the other night showed it. But Frank, listen, that team, Edmonton they just got 2 flat-out studs.
Yeah.
And McDavid and Draisaitl.
It's Jordan and Pippen.
Exactly. It's just like, man, what do you do? Kobe and Shaq. It's like, what do you do? We got to just try to minimize everybody else and take advantage of the opportunities that we have. Well, they didn't do that because Hines, is it Hines? How do you pronounce his last name? Hines, yeah. He had 3 goals. He had a hat trick. No,
you're talking about the coach.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I'm talking about the player for Edmonton. Hyman.
Yeah.
He had 3 goals.
Yeah.
So you're talking about not only having to contain Shaq and Kobe, but you can't allow, I don't know who would the third person be.
Well, it's a different team, but it's kind of like the big 3.
Exactly.
It's like you got like Duncan and Parker and Manu.
Yeah, but you can't let this other guy beat you. You sort of contain the other 2.
3, but you know what I mean.
The other, it's like, okay, you can't let Duncan and Parker beat you. And you sort of contain those 2 guys, but you don't do nothing about Ginobili, who's a hell of a player.
Yeah, Hyman's their man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's a guy that if you don't pay attention to him, he can go off and end up winning the game for your opponent.
I love Ginobili, by the way.
And that's what it was the other night. Even though McDavid and Draisaitl played great, you knew they were going to do what they do, but you allowed this other guy to have 3 goals. And you're not scoring when you have the opportunity to score. That's where the Predators are. When you are on the advantage and you don't take and do something with that, when you're on a power play and you don't take advantage of that, playing against a team like Edmonton, you're not going to win. You're not.
Nope.
And that's what happened.
And, look, I kind of worry about that, tonight because, we talked about this, Derek, that the schedule is not going to get any easier moving forward.
No.
And Winnipeg's 18-9-1. They're not bad. They are having a pretty good season. Rick Bowness taking over as the head coach. But, this is the stretch they got. At Winnipeg, at Colorado, Edmonton back here again, at Chicago, and then Colorado here. That's the next 2 weeks. That's not easy. And if they don't get things turned around soon, they're on a 4-game losing streak, things are going to get away from them pretty fast. And they were playing well. We saw that overtime win against a team, a really good New Jersey team, a team they probably shouldn't have beaten. And then they beat the Islanders, and then things have kind of fallen off for them. I know that the defense is beat up. They're battling injury. That's well documented. But the problems of being able to generate scoring chances have been around for a while. And John Hines also talked about this morning when he was on with Robbie and Rexroad, getting more chances from the top players.
If you look at even a guy like Jordan Gross, he had 3 or 4 scoring chances. Some of it was offensive blue line, some of it was off the rush. And that's what we need from more guys. The other thing that I think in the offensive zone, being a little bit more mobile, skating at the offensive blue line when the puck comes low to high, sometimes you got to move your feet 2 or 3 steps one way or the other to be able to find a shot lane to get it through. And those are some things we're continuing to work with the guys on too. But that production and productivity from the back end certainly has more potential.
And they got to bury these chances.
Yeah.
You know, the chances that they get, they got to finish them. That's the thing. And they're not doing that. And Forsberg has been a disappointment right now. You know, I really wish that he could get it going, because if he were able to get some things going, that sparks something. You know, when your best player is playing like your best player, there's a trickle-down effect, and that hasn't happened.
Well, it seemed like the only guy, and correct me if I'm wrong with this, Chase, it seems like the only guy when you talk about the big 4 or 3 or whatever, the only guy that has been consistent is Yossi.
Yeah.
Any other guys have been Duchesne, Johansson, Forsberg. Those guys have been so up and down. Whereas last year, they were on point. All of them were on point. And you just are not seeing that on a consistent basis. And this is something that has been said. It's not like we are making these things up. Poyle came on here and said, listen, our top guys have to play like the top guys, you know, just about every night in order to give us an opportunity to win. But then those other guys, those secondary guys, they need to up their game as well, where we're not getting that. No way, no how on a consistent basis.
Mike on our text line, Drew at WilsonCountyHoney.com. You said Shaq and Kobe being Draisaitl and McDavid. Hyman's Derek Fisher. That's a good one.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
Derek Fisher was a very underrated point
Exactly.
guard.
But if you left him out there to shoot that three-pointer, he was going to nail it.
Yeah.
And he could nail 3 or 4 in a row. And you end up looking, and he ends the game with 22 points.
Yeah.
But Shaq and Kobe, they had maybe 20, 25, but then you let this guy get 22 points and kill you.
Jordan, Pippen, and Kukoc.
Same way. Same thing.
I love Tony Kukoc, too. 615-737-1025. How can the Predators fix their scoring woes? We'll discuss more of that coming up next. But I've been telling you about a cool spot that you can go into before Predators game. It's called Blend Bar with Davidoff Cigars. It's blocks away from Bridgestone Arena, the Ryman, and also Nissan Stadium. Just an easy walk. They have the best old-fashioned in Nashville, and I love a good old-fashioned. I've had it. It is fantastic. Go see Jeremy and his crew. They have a tremendous staff there to help you, whether you're in there to sample a cocktail or bourbon or have a fine cigar, because they have a partnership, an exclusive partnership with Davidoff Cigars, the best cigars in the world, and that allows access to rare cigars that only Blend can carry. And here's the cool thing, too. If you go in there and you're with a non-smoker, they have a ventilation system that will help keep the air clean, that, you know, will make it easier for you as someone that, you know, if you're with someone that is a non-smoker. It replaces the air in the lounge every 7 minutes through extensive carbon filtration. The upstairs VIP room is available, has that same ventilation system. It's your own private elevator, private updated bathroom, marble countertops, a 70-inch TV, and custom imported leather furniture. You can also get that catered as well. So go see my friends at Blend Bar with Davidoff Cigars, 508 Church Street in downtown Nashville. Blend Bar with Davidoff Cigars is luxury redefined.
Every Wednesday at noon.
No matter the down and distance and no matter the score, they're going to give him the football.
Outkick 360's Jonathan Hutton joins Chase, Willy, and D-Mase to talk all things Titans and NFL.
I hope that they're not throwing flags simply because the league wants to see more of them.
He's got opinions and insights on the two-tone blue.
They are not as good at wide receiver and the playmaking department.
Catch Hutton every Wednesday at noon. Presented by Blend Bar with Davidoff Cigars and by Edley's Barbecue on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
We'll finally start to see more sunshine today, and we're going to stay dry, but we're going to get colder too, with high temperatures around 50 this afternoon. Tonight, we'll see partly cloudy skies with low temperatures falling to near freezing. For Fox 17, I'm meteorologist Brett Luna.
Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Are you looking for Tennessee-grown and crafted THC, CBD, Delta 8, Delta 9 products? Then float on over to ounceofhope.com.
On top of the widest selection of luxury edibles and smokables, their customer service team is high quality and prepared to help select the right cannabis product for your needs. Their knowledgeable team will have you flying high with a smile. That's ounceofhope.com, made locally in Memphis. Ounce of Hope is Memphis Flyers' best cannabis shop 2 years in a row. Legal THC delivered to your door. ounceofhope.com.
The Nashville Jam Company is already a super popular weekend breakfast and brunch destination. But with summer over, it's time to put the beach body away for a while. So for fall, they've expanded their offerings and added what they call the Meat and Three menu. Yeah, cool weather and Southern comfort food go hand in hand. And the stars of this show are the hefty meatloaf, Southern fried catfish, slow-cooked pot roast, fried chicken, Salisbury steak, and a slew of other rib, stick, and delicacies. And they have salads, too, if you're into that kind of thing. Come see the new menu Monday through Friday from 10:30 till 2.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
This message is for the guy who isn't perfect in the bedroom. And let's be honest, who is? Maybe the issue is getting it up or keeping it up, or maybe it's finishing too soon. If any of these performance hiccups sound familiar to you, don't sweat it. Hims can help. At 4hims.com, you can go online and get clinically proven prescription medication that treats these issues, prescribed for you, if appropriate, by licensed medical providers. And the medication is shipped free to your door in discreet packaging. Plus, Hims gives you unlimited follow-up visits with medical providers. No one's perfect in the bedroom every time, but with Hims, you can get a lot closer than before. And chances are, your partner will agree.
To get started today, go to 4hims.com/perfect. That's 4hims.com/perfect for your free visit. FORHIMS.com/PERFECT.
Robbie Stanley.
They get a lead in that game and just totally close the door.
Joe Rexrode.
If he plays next year, it's disastrous.
Robbie and Rexrode. Mornings from 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app. This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willy, D-Mace, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason with you. I do have to tip my cap to Rick because he sent this to me. 30 years ago today, Dr. Dre released The Chronic.
Man, when that album dropped.
Such a good album.
Man. Gosh.
So I had to play some Dre.
I swear that album, what was that? 2000. No, that was. Yeah, it was 2012. Was it? 12? No, that was.
What else? The Chronic?
Yeah, it was.
No, this was like 92.
Yeah, 92. That was. I said 2012, but then I had to go back 10 more years.
Yeah.
92. I was junior in high school. Man,
yeah.
I couldn't bump this in the house, of course.
No, probably not. But I mean, it introduced you to Snoop Dogg, or Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Uh-huh.
You know, he was on it. The DOC.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, it's a great. And then 2001 was good too. I mean, you know,
yeah.
But The Chronic is one of those, like, if
it's an iconic
if I were to
album.
teach a class on music, it would be one of the albums that I would make the class listen to. You would have to go listen to that album. If you're learning about the history of music.
I mean, that album was fire.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Still is.
It still is. I mean, you can play that album from the first song to the last song.
I'm going to listen to it on the way home instead of Stillman. Sorry, Caroline.
Sorry, Caroline.
Sorry, Jared. It's Dre Day.
I know little baby Jared wasn't listening to that back in the day.
Dr. Dre, what's Dr. Dre? Neil on our text line, talking about the Preds. Neil on our text line says Preds need to change their system, quit being hard to play against, and bring in more offensive-minded players. Okay, I get where you're coming from because I agree. I mean, I think the hard to play against philosophy, for whatever reason, isn't working right now. But they have offensive-minded players. I mean, they have Forsberg, they have Duchesne, they have Johansson. I do wonder if sometimes you're taking these guys and look, a prime example was Ellie Tolvanen. Ellie Tolvanen was an offensive-minded player, and they needed him to play more of a tougher game, which he did a really good job at. But I also wonder at the same time, did he kind of forget how to score?
Yeah.
Or was he just never that good to begin with? I don't know. But I get what Neil's saying. And I know where everybody wants to go. I know there's a really large portion of the fan base that's ready for a coaching change. And, it may come to that at some point.
They're ready for change, period.
Yeah, they're ready to see success. Okay, this city tasted success. It's just like the Titans. 99, Titans come on the scene, go to the Super Bowl. Everybody loves it. Well, then, you have a roster shuffle, and you go to Baltimore. We all know what happens, and then you go in the doldrums, and you don't see success for a while, and people get tired of that. People get tired of either lack of success or mediocrity. Well, the Predators are a playoff team. They've made the playoffs every year, but then they're not doing anything with it, and that's where the frustration is set in, is that they love the fact, you're making it, but win in the playoffs. It's been a while. And so all that frustration is starting to boil over.
Yeah, I think some people, not all people, they get satisfied and comfortable with, hey, listen, I know where we used to be. I know where we're at now, and I don't want to go back to where we used to be. So let's just keep everything status quo and maybe add some new players, and hopefully we can get better based upon that. And then some people are on the other end of the spectrum like, listen, what we're doing now is good. It's not good enough. I know we've experienced some success. I get that. But we want to win championships. We want to win Stanley Cups. And so let's do the things that are going to put this team in a position to do that. And some people are saying, hey, listen, eventually we need a coaching change or we need a GM change. So you have two sets of people. One that, hey, listen, I know where we were, don't want to go back there. We don't need to, fire everybody. We just need to, add some new players and kind of go from there.
Yep.
So, I mean.
There's I feel like there's two distinct groups of people. Look, Jared's on one side and I'm probably on the other. There's it's not working, fire everybody. Which is the quick, all right, nope, not working. There's all right, let's see it play out. Let's see some changes, and then if it doesn't work, then you gotta move on. I'm more in that category, and what I'm seeing right now is not consistent, and that's a problem. That is a problem, and I don't think that's all on John Hines. I don't think that's all on David Poyle. I don't think that's all on the players. I think it's a collection.
But you know what, Chase?
But eventually it's got to get better.
Yeah, it does. But you know what? And I heard Robbie and Rex talking about this morning briefly. It's hard to do that because you got these guys that are supposed to be your big-time guys that aren't playing that well, but you stuck with their contracts.
Right.
You can't, no one's going to, at the trade deadline, if indeed you want to start, you get to a point where you say, okay, this season is pretty much done. Sure. We need to sort of make some moves. Well, it's hard to make moves when these guys are in the middle of their contract or still got 2 or 3 years left on that contract and they're making $8-9 million, but they're not playing to that potential, and now you're trying to move them. Who's going to take them?
Right.
Nobody's going to take them. Or if they do, then you're not getting back much for them. So you're stuck in this. It's almost you're stuck in no man's land when it comes to that, because you got these guys that play well enough, play good enough to get big contracts, but now they have the big contract. You can't do anything with it, and that's sort of the problem with whether it be hockey or Major League Baseball. When you have these guaranteed contracts, it's hard to move them if these guys are not playing well.
And that's the big thing, like you just said. Like in the NFL, once the guaranteed money's paid up, you can move on, and you don't have to worry about it. It's not like that with hockey.
No, so unfortunately, people, this may be the team you see for a while.
Yeah. Unnamed texter says, last year the Preds' top players all had career years. The team barely made the playoffs and were swept. This year they're still only 500 and on a path to miss the playoffs. There needs to be some changes. Either upgrade the players, make a change at the coach or GM, but I think everyone has to admit there needs to be something done differently. And
Yeah,
look,
well,
I'm not going to argue with that.
That's the truth. There are things that need to be done, but what can they do short of, replacing a head coach and or GM? Is anybody going to take, these huge contracts?
Mm-hmm.
No,
probably not.
Probably not. I mean, I think it would never happen. I don't think. Well, they traded away Shea Weber, so anything can happen. The only guy that could be movable, well, two guys, is UC and Yossi.
Well, even Yossi would be tough because he's got a no trade clause.
Exactly,
so.
he got no trade clause. So the only person you could possibly move is Soros.
Yeah.
That's the only person that will probably be worth anything on the market.
I'll have pregame coverage for you tonight at 6. Preds take on the Winnipeg Jets. But coming up next, silly underdog picks. We will review. We have some people not attending. But we will review and make our picks. That is all coming up next. 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
You watch the game. We talk the game.
The college football playoff rankings. Tennessee, the #1 team in the country.
We are the game. Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Nothing says I love you like the gift of jewelry. A sapphire ring, a diamond necklace, a colored gemstone earring, an anniversary band. And around here, the diamond destination is Genesis Diamonds. With decades of experience, our legendary value combined with worldwide connection, Genesis is here to help make this Christmas the most unforgettable ever. And to make it easy to splurge, our special 0% finance offer has been extended through Christmas Eve. So you can make any holiday purchase and spread your payments over 5 years and enjoy an interest rate of 0% with absolutely nothing down. Our showcases are filled with exquisite diamond rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, as well as a fabulous selection of luxury pre-owned Rolexes, starting as low as $35 a month with nothing down. And if you're planning an engagement this holiday season, this special finance offer includes all of our designer engagement rings and all GIA certified diamonds. Buy now, spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest and nothing down. Say I love you louder than ever this holiday with the gift of diamonds from Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills in Cool Springs. Approved credit.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money. Easy to learn, easy to use, small business software tailored just for you. With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Hey, it's Joe Rex. I invited you to start NFL Week 15 off right with NFL Same Game Parlay Insurance from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. It does not matter if you're new to FanDuel. If you have an account, you can get free bets back if your 4+ leg Thursday night Same Game Parlay falls 1 leg short. NFL Same Game Parlays, perfect way to combine bets for a chance at a bigger payday. Looking at this one, tough loss for Seattle, but still a big game. Niners, Seahawks. I think Geno Smith over on the passing yards. I think Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown would be 2 things that I would do. I also like the Niners. You do whatever you want to do. You can build your own or choose from one of the popular Same Game Parlays pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. However you want to play, bet the NFL Thursday night with the Same Game Parlay. Sign up with the promo code JOE102 if you don't have an account. If you do, you're all set. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older in present Tennessee. Refund issued is now adult. Free bets expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $25. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbet.fan.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 800-889-9789.
Tune in to ESPN 102.5 The Game every Tuesday afternoon at 4:30 for ESPN's Trevor Maddich joining me, Jared Stillman, on Stillman & Company as we dive deep into the college football world and all the latest from the SEC. It's all brought to you by Houston Clinic Orthopedics, when experience matters.
Signs First, Nashville's foremost destination for event signage and physical media. Located just minutes from Broadway, our team of design, production, and installation professionals can help you create an unforgettable event. Stand out. Be different. Go to sfnash.com.
Live from the Game Nashville studios. WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Broadcasting on Alexa.
I appreciate that.
And other smart speakers. 102.5 and 106.3.
1, 2, 3. I think it was a good game. Had a couple of big plays.
The Game.
A Cromwell media station.
Now let's see if we can bring them to life, all right?
Bringing you entertainment and informative sports talk during your workday.
Smart, funny, classy, and I like him a lot.
This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase with Chase McCabe, Willy Donick,
Mason, touchdown, Tennessee.
and former NFL wide receiver Derek Mason. Presented by Hair Club. Hair Club. Love your hair. Live your life. On Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
There's no need to fear. Underdog is here.
That's right. It is time for Silly Underdog Picks. It's all presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket and Superbook Sports. Rated #1 sportsbook. Download their app today. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason at the Murphy Center here at MTSU as the Blue Raiders will take on Chattanooga later on tonight, the 50th anniversary celebration of the Murphy Center. And now we say hello to the panel. I know Chris might be a few minutes late, and we're waiting Kelly Holcomb as well, but we bring in George Plaster, who is on the line with us. And Plasmo, how we doing?
Chase, I'm good. Hello?
Yes.
Okay, well, we just hung up on George.
Yeah. We got Kelly.
That was good. We got Chris.
Chris?
Nick, you're going to need to hit the button twice to lock it in, and that's how you keep everybody on.
Hey, guys.
Well, how are you?
I'm doing splendid. I'm doing outstanding.
That's good. Derek is sitting here watching the MTSU basketball players warm up, and he's wondering when they're going to throw him a ball.
Yeah, I want to get down there. I want to get over there and dunk.
He's ready to hoop it up.
I'm ready to hoop it up.
Mason can't touch the net.
Man, are you crazy? I got game. I got game.
I think you shoot. I think you shoot before.
I probably don't have game like them, but I got game.
I bet you had some game like them back in the day, though.
I can hold my own, man, but my knees are too bad. My knees are too bad right now.
Is George back or is that Kelly?
I guess neither one of them.
It's George.
Okay.
Oh, there we go, George.
I don't have names on my screen. I'm flying blind here. I don't know what we're doing. But anyway, sorry that you got hung up on. No worries there at all. But, yeah, we're at MTSU. And, George, I have a feeling you've called a few games in this building before.
You know, I have. Chase, sorry, but I don't really know what happened. First of all, Merry Christmas to you guys and to all the listeners. You know, I was thinking about when I heard you were there. I actually saw Magic Johnson play in the NCAA tournament. I think it was 1979. I was a student at Vandy at the time, and I covered his team played Lamar University, and then Tennessee and Notre Dame played in the nightcap, and that was one of the great moments in that gym's history. And there have been some others. MTSU had a run of 3 NIT games in a row at home. Georgia, Boston College, and Tennessee, and I want to say it was 1989. The thing I've always marveled about that facility is you look at it, it's 50 years old, and it's in incredible shape. They've done an amazing job with the upkeep of that facility.
Yeah, they have, and we're actually just talking to a gentleman that's with the company that puts the glass in, and you know, they obviously technology's changed, but they got glass that'll tint itself if the sun shines on it. But I mean, it's such a cool facility, so cool to celebrate that. And you know, I've been walking around the campus a little bit. I was looking for the statue. I saw the one of Coach Donnelly. I was looking for Kelly Holcomb's statue, and I haven't found it yet.
It's in the garage somewhere. Well, the statue business can be a very dangerous thing because birds enjoy statues.
All right. The commissioner is preparing for the game tonight, so he is not with us. So once again, I have to fill in for the commissioner. So without further ado, let us review. Last week we picked 2 NFL games. Derek Mason had the first pick. He took the Bucks plus 3.5 against the 49ers. It was not meant to be with Tom Brady and company, as the 49ers took care of business, destroyed them, so he did not get any points and gain on Chris Sanders.
Ooh, that was
oh, well, that's what happens.
Chris, speaking of, was next up, and he took he took the Rams plus 6.5 on I think that was a Thursday night game against the Raiders. Baker Mayfield making his first start for the Rams, had just joined the team 2 days earlier. They come from behind, end up winning the game. So 6.5 more points for Chris, who extends his lead now with 107 points on the year.
Man, I'm just giving them all. That's all that counts.
Yeah, you're doing something. I was next up, and unfortunately for the Titans, I went against them. I took the Jags plus 4, and the Jags were all over the Titans, so
Congrats,
I get 4
Chase.
points. It doesn't really matter. I'm still in last place, but
give me those points then. I'll take them.
No, I'll take it. I mean, look, it's fine. It's whatever. Kelly Holcomb goes with the Cleveland Browns plus 5.5 against the Bengals. Joe Burrow had never beaten the Browns until that point, and well, didn't work out for Kelly.
Well, Kelly went with his heart.
He went with one of his former teams.
Exactly, and that didn't work out too well for him.
And then George Plaster had the final pick in the first round. He takes the Vikings plus 2. The red-hot Detroit Lions continue. Dan Campbell has that team just playing great football. They get the win over the Vikings, so no points for George.
Yeah, who picked for me?
Oh, yeah, that's right. It wasn't you. It was Corey Curtis of News 2 that ended up calling in and picking.
Tell Corey I would have taken Jacksonville.
Yeah, well, they were already off the board.
They were already off the board, yeah.
So that was the problem. So then Corey picks on the turnaround. He takes the Jets plus 10 against the Bills.
Oh, wow.
That didn't work either, George.
They were close.
Thank you.
Kelly takes the Carolina Panthers plus 3.5 against Seattle. He does win that one, so 3.5 points for Kelly Holcomb in that pick.
That's right. Go Panthers.
Go Panthers. I was next up. I did not believe in the Eagles flying. That was a mistake. I go with the Giants, the G-Men plus 6.5. That didn't work out, so I go 1-1 on my picks, and that's why I'm still in last place. So
yes.
Eagles continue to fly. And once again, Chris Sanders has the next pick. He takes the Chargers, the next opponent for the Titans, plus 3.5 on Sunday night, and guess what? He won again.
He got a double win.
That's how he gets the 107. So he wins again. And then finally, D-Mase, and he almost got this one.
Man.
Almost got this one.
It was big.
The Texans, plus 17 against the Cowboys. They were leading towards the end, and Dallas leads a comeback and ends up winning that game. But oh, so close.
And all the while, I was saying, damn.
Yep, that is exactly what you were saying for sure. So the standings are as follows. Chris Sanders running away with it with 107 points. Derek Mason with 89.5 in second place. Kelly Holcomb has a nice hold on third at 65.5. And then George with 50.5 in fourth. And I am bringing up the rear, 47.5, 3 points back of the director. The picks will be as follows this week. Chris Sanders will have the first pick, followed by me, Kelly Holcomb, George Plaster, and Derek Mason. And Derek Mason will have the turnaround. We do have bowl games to pick. So we will pick bowl games up until December 24th, Christmas Eve, which will be MTSU taking on San Diego State in the Hawaii Bowl. So that's where we will go with that. We will make the selections.
Hey Chase, did Willie tell you that I'm going to have to do what everybody else has done? Nobody else really cares about the program either, so I'm going to have to bail.
Yes, he did tell me that. Your excuse has been noted and approved, and so Kelly, we wish you the best and hope you have a great weekend.
Hold on, did he give you picks? Did he give you my picks?
He has given those to Nick, our producer. So
Actually,
he'll
no
make
way. There's no way I have them.
Oh, well, he was supposed to.
Well, text them to us. Text them to Nick, I guess.
Please do, Kelly.
Number?
Yeah, well, Nick.
I'll text you.
He'll text
me
you.
and I'll send them to you.
Okay.
All right.
There you go.
See y'all.
All right. Later, Kelly. We'll come back with the picks coming up next here on Silly Underdog Picks. Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. But it's my time to tell you about Hair Club. You've heard me talking about them, and it's noted as I've gotten older, I have the power outages upstairs, and I love my hair. I love my look, and I wanted to do something about it, so that's why I called Hair Club. Hair Club, no matter what the problem is, whether it's restoration, regrowth, small problems, big problems, they got you. They have the answers for you. So all you need to do is very simple, is go in for a free consultation, and they'll help you out with whatever your hair situation may be. Hair Club has a solution for you. So all you need to do is fill out the form at hairclub.com/chase. That's my name, hairclub.com/chase, to schedule your free consultation. And they'll also give you a 10% off anything you happen to purchase because I sent you there. Or you can text CHASE, C-H-A-S-E, to 694-247 and get started today. It's Hair Club. You're going to love it.
Silly Underdog Picks is back. Get your friends and sign up today at thegamenashville.com. Pick the 3 football underdog teams each week you think will win for a chance to win weekly prizes, like a pair of tickets to a sporting event or to a concert in Nashville. Oh, yeah! Go to thegamenashville.com or the Game Nashville app and sign up and play now. Then tune in every Thursday at noon for our expert picks. Silly Underdogs is presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket and Superbook Sports.
Hey, it's Joe Rexroad invited you to start NFL Week 15 off right with NFL same-game parlay insurance from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Does not matter if you're new to FanDuel. If you have an account, you can get free bets back if your 4+ leg Thursday night same-game parlay falls 1 leg short. NFL same-game parlays, perfect way to combine bets for a chance at a bigger payday. Looking at this one, tough loss for Seattle, but still a big game. Niners, Seahawks. I think Geno Smith over on the passing yards. I think Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown would be 2 things that I would do. I also like the Niners. You do whatever you want to do. You can build your own or choose from one of the popular same-game parlays pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. However you want to play, bet the NFL Thursday night with the same-game parlay. Sign up with the promo code JOE102 if you don't have an account. If you do, you're all set. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Refund issued is now available. Free bets expire for 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $25. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbet.fan.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 800-889-9789.
Winning this award is truly like winning the Super Bowl of car dealer awards for Mercedes-Benz.
Edwin Vickery, General Manager of Mercedes-Benz of Music City.
Culture eats strategy for lunch. You have to hit on all cylinders to win this award. You can strategize all you want. You got to still have the right tools, and our tools are our people.
Live the dream with 3-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best award winner, Mercedes-Benz of Music City. Go to mbofmc.com.
In 1972, a Nashville family business story began when Bill and Beverly Finley founded Volunteer Hose and Gasket. 3 generations have grown the business into the local industry leader supplying just about anything to anybody, from the largest of contractors to your neighbor that mows his own yard. Over 1 million items in stock: belts, belting accessories, gaskets, gauges, hose fittings, hydraulics, industrial hoses, lubricants, sealing products, tubing, fire protection, and more. All at volunteerhose.net. If Volunteer Hose and Gasket doesn't have it, then you probably don't need it. Call them at 615-242-0461.
So I switched to Boost Mobile and got this free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone.
Why do you think they call it the Galaxy?
Maybe because the Samsung Galaxy A23 has a huge screen, and galaxies are huge gravitationally bound systems of stars rotating around a supermassive black hole.
And the phone is free?
When you switch to Boost Mobile.
Cool. You lost me at gravitationally bound.
Switch to Boost and get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power. Limited time offer while supplies last. New customers only. Excludes tax. 1 device offer per line. Only available on certain networks. 5G not available everywhere. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
I love this show.
Never miss a moment of the show.
Okay, all right, okay.
Subscribe to the Chase, Willy, and D-Mase podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm ready to step this up a notch.
You're listening to Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason with you. Silly Underdog Picks presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket. and by Superbook Sports. Without further ado, let's get to the picks. We'll have one round of college bowl games through December 24th, and then one round of the NFL. And first up will be the leader in the competition with 107 points, Chris Sanders.
Alrighty. There's a couple of good bowl games, but I think the one that really stands out with me is I'm going with Florida over Oregon State.
Who's bad?
You know, I was just looking at that. I had a feeling. Florida, a 10-point dog without a bunch of players.
Oh, no. How many players are they losing?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, you picked it now. You should know that.
You should know that.
Florida, UConn.
No.
Bro. Anthony Richardson's not playing. He's going to the draft.
No, but I was.
No,
yeah.
Nope. You ain't study. Hey, listen, Chris. When you don't study for the test, and you walk into the room and the teacher give a test, you can't say, "Oh, hey, teacher, hold on, teacher, don't get a test today." Nah, should have studied. Chris.
But I just circled C.
Well.
Too bad, so sad.
C's get degrees.
Exactly.
That's how I made it through MTSU. What's up, Murphy Center? How we doing? Good to see you. Florida, a 10-point dog against Oregon State in the Las Vegas Bowl.
We still going to win. How about it?
Which you can hear that Saturday right here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
There you go.
That leads us to yours truly, Chase McCabe.
Behold the king, the king of kings. On your knees, dog.
All right. I am going to go with the Frisco Bowl at Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas. Give me North Texas plus 10.5 against Boise State.
Didn't you learn from me not to take North Texas?
Clearly not.
Wow.
I mean, clearly not.
No, I know you did.
So, whatever.
Hey,
good pick.
It is what it is.
Thank you. That brings us to Kelly Holcomb, who had to step away, and he has sent his picks to Nick Keiser.
Nick?
Skin a buck and run a trot line, and a country boy can survive. Country folks can survive. Country boy can survive. Country folks can survive.
Tighten up.
Well done. Well, in place of Mr. Kelly Holcomb, I'm going to take BYU over SMU.
Okay.
BYU plus 3.5 in the New Mexico Bowl against SMU.
Yeah.
All right.
They still got Eric Dickerson?
They do not.
Oh, okay.
No. They do not. That leads us to George Plaster.
Come on, George.
Hey, Chase.
Hey, George.
Did I hear you say that Anthony Richardson is preparing for the NFL draft?
You did.
Oh, he should not flatter himself.
Or he's transferring. I don't know what he's doing.
I just don't hear teams out there going, oh, my God, we're Anthony Richardson away from being in the Super Bowl.
You're right.
Yeah, he's preparing for the draft. I don't get it.
Well, great. Good luck on that. I'm going to go with UConn in what the hell do they call this thing? This is the Myrtle Beach Bowl.
Yes, it is. UConn, a 10-point dog
Myrtle Beach
against Marshall at Brooks Stadium in Conway, South Carolina.
Boy, I bet that'll be
Will you plan to watch that?
No.
No, I won't. He will not. And finally, Derek Mason. If you could see his face right now, I mean, he loves this every time.
Oh, man, I love this song. I love this movie. Goodness, man, I can watch this on repeat all
Puts
day.
him in a good mood.
Man, oh, man. All right, you know what? I was a little worried because, I thought either you were going to pick it, Chase, or George would pick it. But neither one of you guys picked it. We're here in Blue Raider country, and y'all didn't pick the game? I'm taking the Blue Raiders.
Okay.
Taking the Blue Raiders.
MTSU.
They're playing in the Hawaii Bowl. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm taking the Blue Raiders.
MTSU is a 7-point dog against San Diego State in the Hawaii Bowl. Was talking to some folks here from MTSU earlier. They'll be leaving soon to go to Hawaii and get ready for that game. So
absolutely.
Derek goes with the Blue Raiders. Derek will have the first pick now in the NFL.
Boom. I'm going to take a page from Chris, and I'm going with the L.A. Rams and Baker Mayfield.
The L.A.
They're a
Rams.
7-point dog against Green Bay, I believe.
That is true. They are on Monday Night Football. Riveting stuff for Monday Night Football.
Absolutely.
Rams +7.
Baker Mayfield
versus Green
Baker
Bay.
Mayfield we trust, okay?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
They trust him, all right.
Absolutely.
That brings up George Plaster with his NFL pick.
I'd love to say I was better prepared for this, but I wasn't. So, what the heck? Let's go with Tampa at home. They've really impressed people.
All right. The Tampa Bay
They
Buccaneers.
are 3.5-point dogs versus the Bengals.
The only,
there we go.
The only offense in the league duller than Tampa is us.
Hey, I thought you were going to default to your team, George, the Commanders.
I know. They're a favorite, though.
Oh, yeah, they're a favorite this week.
That's the
Yeah,
problem.
that's a problem, yeah.
All right, that brings up Kelly Holcomb. Nick Keyser picking for him.
All right, fellas. I think the best one of these picks that Kelly gave me, I'm going to have to go with the Baltimore Ravens over the Cleveland Stinky Browns.
The Ravens. A dog, if I can find it. They are a 3-point dog on the road at Cleveland. That's a good pick.
It's basically a pick-em.
Yeah. That brings it to me. Why not? Give me the Dolphins +7 against the Bills.
Ooh, I don't know if Dolphins can do it up in that cold weather.
They've been practicing with the air conditioning.
Oh, my goodness. Seriously, they've been practicing with the air conditioning. That does not simulate cold whatsoever.
No. That leads us to Chris Sanders with his NFL pick.
I am going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars over Dallas Cowboys.
I looked at that one, too.
I knew you were going to do that. Jags +4. Jags are +4 against the Cowboys.
Let's go.
All right. Let's review the Silly Underdog picks presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket and Superbook Sports. First up in the college bowl games, Chris Sanders going with Florida, a 10-point dog against Oregon State in the Vegas Bowl. No Anthony Richardson either. I'm next up. I take North Texas in the Frisco Bowl +10.5 against Boise State. Kelly Holcomb, who had to step away, has Nick Keyser picking for him. He takes BYU +3.5 against SMU. And I forget the name of that bowl, but who cares? George Plaster is up next, the Myrtle Beach Bowl. UConn +10 against Marshall. And then Derek Mason. We're on the campus of Middle Tennessee State University at the Murphy Center. He takes the Blue Raiders.
Let's go Blue Raiders.
+7 against San Diego State in the Hawaii Bowl. Then in the
That's
NFL.
him just being a big suck-up.
Yeah, of course he is. And not Ryan Suckup. And then in the NFL, Derek has the first pick. He takes the Rams +7 on Monday night against Green Bay. George Plaster up next with the Bucks +3.5 against Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Kelly selects Baltimore +3 against Cleveland. They are at Cleveland. I take the Dolphins +7 at the Bills, and Chris Sanders closes it out. +4 for the Jags against the Dallas Cowboys. And as Willie always says, gentlemen, good luck.
Yeah, whatever.
Why isn't he here?
He is preparing for the game tonight at morning skate.
Oh, good Lord. I mean, come on. Who's he fooling?
Nobody.
Hey, I wish all of y'all bad luck, okay? I hope y'all lose every game. I'm just saying.
Derek, I appreciate your honesty.
George, you will appreciate this. You'll appreciate who our next guest is. Somebody that you and I have had dinner with.
Billy Ocean.
Really?
At
Who would
Jimmy
that
Kelly's.
Hey.
It was
not Herm Edwards.
It is Herm Edwards.
Whoa.
It is Herm Edwards. He's
Really?
going to join us coming up next. Yep.
Okay, you tell him I said hello.
I will. I will do it. Guys, have a great
All right, my man.
weekend.
Y'all take care.
We will do it again next week.
Yeah, whatever.
You take care, Chase.
All right. George Plaster, Chris Sanders, Kelly Holcomb, the Silly Underdog Picks presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket and Superbook Sports. We will come back with the coach, Herm Edwards from ESPN. We'll talk to him next, but first, D-Mase has a word on Cool Springs MD.
And yes, I do. Even when I'm in Murfreesboro, people, I'm still going to tell you about Cool Springs MD. Men, over the years, more men have started to seek help for hormone deficiencies and imbalances. And Dr. Jeffrey Lodge, along with his wife, Daphne, and that experienced staff, give men the treatment required to improve their quality of life. Cool Springs MD services have already helped many men of Brentwood, Nashville, and the surrounding areas in Tennessee with improving their immune systems, cognitive functions, energy levels, and more. They're there to connect you with the medical care you require to have a healthy and enriched life. There's no better time now to achieve a healthy lifestyle. Men, do what I did. Go and make that appointment. Here's the number, 615-486-3458. Don't wait, 615-486-3458. And you can even go to their website to do so at CoolSpringsMD.com.
ESPN Titans NFL Nation reporter Teron Davenport brings knowledge.
3 touchdowns. He was processing, getting rid of the ball quickly.
Passion.
Make no mistake about it. He absolutely has to hit the ground running.
And expertise on the two-tone blue and the NFL. Join TD every Monday at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Friday morning at 8 for all the latest on your favorite team. Teron Davenport is presented by Craneworks on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Christmas shopping is in full swing at Electronic Express. Come into our convenient locations for great deals on all of your favorite brands like Samsung, Microsoft, LG, Sony, Apple, and more. Electronic Express has huge savings in every department. 4K TVs, computers, appliances, smart home, headphones, gaming, and more. Save up to 40% with up to 48 months free financing. Shop in-store or online at electronicexpress.com and get free express delivery on most items. Electronic Express. We make Christmas happen.
Tools of the Game brought to you by Northern Tool and Equipment. This holiday season, Northern Tool and Equipment has the perfect gift for every builder and maker on your list. And with new deals dropping this week, it's the best time to save on the brand you trust. Northern Tool and Equipment, made for gift giving.
Need cash for the holidays or to pay off credit cards right now? Loan Pronto's all-new Express Equity Line of Credit program is just what you need. This is great. You can keep your low mortgage rate and still get cash out. That's right. You don't have to do a full home refi. You can tap a small portion of the equity you have and enjoy a super low rate. With Loan Pronto's Express Equity Credit Line, you can close in 7 to 10 days, and a $50,000 loan will come your way, and it only costs you around $300 a month. Use that money to pay off whatever bills you have, credit cards, consolidate other debt, or start a home improvement project. With Loan Pronto, you can access up to 95% of your home's equity, and 9 out of 10 homeowners won't even need the appraisal. Even if you did a total refi recently or just bought your home, you can tap the equity with this fast, easy program. Do it now before the holidays. Call Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
The Nashville Sheriff is hiring correctional officers. Earn $52,500 after paid training and probation. Positions are available immediately. You must be 21 and over with a high school diploma or GED. Come join our family. That's $52,500 with great benefits. Apply now at sheriff.nashville.gov/apply or call 615-862-8170. Earn $52,500. Stop searching. Apply now. The Nashville Sheriff.
The Sports Talk doesn't end on Friday. Join Michelle Knezovic and Junie Riddle for Michelle and Junie.
Have they truly been tested yet?
I really want this to be a good game. Michelle and Junie, every Saturday morning at 9. Presented by Superbook Sports and the Nashville Jam Company.
I think Junie and I are going to go hit breakfast/brunch there after the show.
On 102.5 and 106.3, The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is David Price. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Tune into this Sunday's NFL Game of the Week on 94.9 The Fan. This week's game will feature the Dallas Cowboys against the Jacksonville Jaguars at noon. The NFL Game of the Week is presented by Red Spirits and Wine in Bellevue and Superbook Sports, voted #1 sportsbook in Vegas. Download their app today. Back here, Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McCabe and Derek Mason live at the Murphy Center at MTSU. And excited to say hello to somebody that's been on with us quite a bit over the years, Herm Edwards of ESPN. The coach joins us. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Kind of interested in the National Football League. Last 4 weeks. There's some big games this weekend.
No doubt about it. And look, I know that you're excited to be talking about it with your colleagues at ESPN. But when you look at this Tennessee Titans team and everything that they've gone through, losing the last 3, the GM gets fired in the middle of the season, even with a winning record and ahead of the division. What's kind of your thought on the Titans right now?
Well, that they're still, they're still a good football team. The problem has been it's tough for them to score points throwing the football, right? I mean, they're built to run the ball, play good defense, which they've done, but they've fallen behind in some games, and all of a sudden they have to play the catch-up game, and that's kind of not their deal. They want to dictate the possessions of the game and take time away from the opponent by running the ball, and that it's good when you're ahead, but when you're behind, it hurts you.
As a coach, you've been through difficult situations. I mean, you were coaching the Jets during 9/11. There's distractions that happen, over the course of a football season. But when the guy responsible for drafting the players and signing the players gets fired mid-season, and it's kind of a head-scratching move by all of us, how much pressure does that put on the head coach to keep his team motivated, to keep his team from getting distracted and go out and win these games?
Well, I think this team, they have an identity of how they play, and we can say all that stuff, GM gets let go, and I think, we all kind of
yeah.
The Philly game might have really brought it out.
Right.
When you watch how a certain guy played, right? And I'm not saying that was the case, but there's always some underlying factors. But I think players, the one thing about players that I like about them, they know how to just put stuff in boxes. Go ahead, look. We're trying to win a division. We understand what happened there. That has nothing to do with how we got to play. We got to start winning some games. We don't want to enter the playoffs losing. You want to win games going into the playoffs.
Now, Coach, how tough is it? Because you just spoke of the Titans, and everybody understands what their identity is. I think everybody understands it across the NFL. They want to run Derrick Henry. They want to play really good defense. They want to play physical and bully ball with you. But when you can't do that as a head coach, how difficult is it during the season to try to turn to something else?
Well, you can't. Mm-hmm. That all sounds good in fantasy football, where I can trade these couple players and be somebody else. You are who you are, guys. Mm-hmm. We got a month of football left. You think you're going to change who you are in a month? You can't. Now, you got to be more efficient in how you play, and how you do things, you know, their big deal is this. They stay ahead of the chains on offense. So they can get into a lot of 3rd and 4s, 3rd and 3s. They can convert it. Either you can throw a short pass or you can run the ball. When they don't play good on 1st and 2nd down, this is what Coach has to preach to them. We get in these 3rd and long situations. We're not built to play like that. That's a problem, right? I mean, that just becomes a problem. And the defense knows, look, we got an offense. If we can take the ball away once or twice, give them some possessions, that all helps. They have a formula. You can't all of a sudden say, hey, you know what? We're going to spread out now and be 4 wide. Really? You going to do that? The first thing the players are going to say, man, Coach, you're panicking. That ain't who we are. We've been playing this way for the last 3 years. We've been playing this way since you've been the head coach. Now we're going to change?
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that, Coach. Now you have the distinct pleasure of not only being a player, being a defensive player, but also being a head coach on the NFL level, coordinator, then a coach on the college level, head coach on the college level. From a defensive standpoint, how frustrating can that be? And we've seen it across the NFL year after year where a team is built so heavy on their defense that if their defense don't come out every game and play at a level that is at a winning level, then they're going to lose. So how frustrating can it be for a defense like the Titans when they've been so good, but it seems like the offense isn't giving them enough help?
Well, it's tough in this sense, and you make a great point. Offensively, when you're turning the ball over or you're going 3 and out, that becomes a problem. Mm-hmm. Even if you don't score, and you go on a 8-9 play drive and the defense can rest, defense good. Punt the ball. I've always said this in football. The only way you give the opponent the ball is kick it. If you kick it, you're good. Every time you kick it to the opponent, you're good. But you don't want to turn it over. You don't want to do those things, get a defensive short field, because that becomes a problem. And, you know, players are human too. You know, they look at certain things and go, man, I mean, come on, guys. You know, and it happens. But this team has great chemistry. They know who they are. Coach does a good job of keeping that all, you know, just relax. Problem is, you know, they sit in a division where Jacksonville is playing a little bit better. I don't know if Jacksonville catches them. I think Tennessee's going to win the division. But the key is this. When you come out of the division, look at the people you're going to have to play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
There's some high-scoring teams, right?
Yeah. No, you're right about that. We're talking with Herm Edwards, former NFL coach, former college coach. You can catch him now on ESPN. Talking ball. Now looking at the landscape of the AFC, Coach, we see a sort of a resurgence of the Chargers, who is the next opponent for the Tennessee Titans. They're getting healthier, and you know this just as well as anybody else knows it. If you can get healthy toward the end of the season, that makes it better for your team. But how do you see the landscape of the AFC moving forward?
Well, you mentioned one team, the Chargers. They're getting better. They have a very talented quarterback in Herbert. Their receivers are getting healthy. We saw them last week play and went, wow, when these guys have all the pieces. Eckler, we know, is a great back. Their defense does a good job of taking the ball away, and they do some good things. But when you look at the conference and you look at the West, it's Kansas City, right? And the Chargers are trying to, you know, maybe get in there as a wild card. Look, they got 4 games left, the Chargers. If they can get to 9, they're probably going to get in. The Raiders had a chance, and then they fell apart against the Rams. You look at the Titans. The Titans are going to can the Jacksonville Jaguars figure it out? We'll see. Cincinnati and Baltimore, I think Cincinnati is a team right now that is headed in the right direction. I mean, they're a team that continues to get better every week. I think Cincinnati actually wins the division. Then you got Buffalo, Miami, and the Jets, right? New England, they're kind of hanging around there, hovering. But it's interesting because Miami has to go on the road again. They got to go play Buffalo. And we're going to see if this thing travels. Last 2 weeks, they've lost on the road. The Jets is a big game for the Jets, I think, in the sense that if they want to get a wild card spot, they got to beat Detroit this week. And that's a tough out. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to win the division. So those are the teams I'm kind of looking at when you watch this thing unfold the next 4 weeks.
Coach, of the top 3 teams in the league that I would say would be the Eagles, the Bills, the Chiefs. I'll say those 3, the 3 favorites to win it all. Which team do you trust the most to make a deep run in the playoffs?
I'm a little bit biased on this guy. That's a bad question to be asking a former Eagle, right?
Exactly.
You coach the Chiefs.
Well, yeah, but I played for the Eagles for 10 years.
Oh, man.
And I coached the Jets, too, but you know what I'm saying? So I couldn't go back to Philadelphia if I don't pick the Eagles. I'm saying that makes sense. At least you didn't ask me about the Cowboys. You know, if you asked me about the Cowboys, you'd get a whole different conversation.
That is true.
I've got to take the Eagles because I do think this. I think when you look at how they play, they're very complete. Very complete. And I think the key to this is the quarterback, the resurgence of the quarterback, how he's gotten better. He's in some talks now of being one of the guys, maybe they can win the MVP, rightly so, because of kind of what he's done and how he's improved throwing the football. You know, so I'm going to say I like the Eagles. The 49ers are a team kind of lurking.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting this week. Purdy has to go on the road and play Seattle, and then he has to turn around and play Washington. These next 2 games will be a good test for him offensively as a quarterback.
Yeah, and I asked you that question because I was curious where you would take it, but I look at Kansas City and they have Mahomes, which obviously you know what he is as a franchise quarterback, but Andy Reid and the experience that he has as a head coach going back to Philly and now with Kansas City, it just feels like the Chiefs are never going to go away.
No. Well, here's one reason. They got the best quarterback in the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, guys, make understand this. When you have a quarterback, I mean a good one. I mean, and there's probably 10 of them in the league that are really good. I mean, that can just take the game over, right? And you're never out of the game. Well, when you don't have one of those guys, the field's 150 yards long. It's just a longer field. It's just harder. I mean, the only thing that when you look at Kansas City, and I've said it, they play loose with the ball. The ball's on the ground a lot. And when you play good teams and you give teams second and chances because you turn the ball over, that could come by and they could come back and bite you in a tough game. And that's the only thing about the Chiefs is they're loose with the ball.
Yeah.
The runners are loose with the ball. They fumble the ball, and they got the most fumbles in the National Football League. They're just loose with the ball.
Yeah, Coach. Can you say that same thing about Buffalo? Because Josh Allen has been, he's been making uncharacteristic turnovers as of lately, and you wonder, is it because of the elbow or is it because of something else?
Well, you can speculate the elbow has something to do with it, but I just think that he gives you the comfort as a coach, and you can fall into the trap. He can throw you out of anything. He can throw you out of a bad series of plays because of his ability to throw the ball and then his ability to run. I worry about him. He's got to be a smarter runner and know when the journey's over. He's in the air too much. He jumps in the air too much and falls down. I mean, he's the quarterback. He's very talented, but you got to protect yourself. You got to protect him from himself. They need, in my opinion, and the weather will dictate this to him as well because they got to play outside. But he can play outside. He can throw the ball outside. They got to run the ball. They got to run the ball a little bit more because he gets you out of bad situations. I mean, guys, they're in 13th, and when he goes back, you say, well, they're going to convert it. They're 13th, and 80% of the time they do because the guy throws one and he runs around. He makes this crazy play. You go, man, look at this guy's arm talent. But you can't keep living like that.
Now, Coach, you enjoy just mentoring men and teaching men, and you've been doing it basically it seems like your whole adult life. What's next for you? Is it just ESPN, or are you just going to take it day by day?
No, it's ESPN because I've got a great platform to talk about the game that I love, and I'm giving back to the game. And I enjoyed my time at Arizona State. A lot of those kids, up and become men. And the great thing from that is,
oh, did we lose him?
Oh, don't tell me lost.
Coach, you still with us? There we go.
With a diploma.
Yeah.
With a diploma. That was important.
Okay.
Yeah, no doubt. Coach, I'll ask you this on the way out. You know, I'm blessed every day to sit next to Derek Mason, a great wide receiver in this league. Was he as mouthy when he played your teams as he can be sometimes?
Well, you know, them receivers like to talk. That's just kind of their personality. You know, because they're so far away from the ball, they never huddle.
So we got to talk to somebody.
The corners that talk.
Yeah, the corners like to talk too.
I know. I played corner, right? And you know, I just covered Drew Pearson, and we had a dialogue for the whole 3 hours, right? Because that's what they do.
Coach, it is great to talk to you again. We will do it again very soon. Glad to see you back on ESPN, and hope you have happy holidays. All right. That is Coach Herm Edwards joining us from ESPN. Always enjoy our conversations with him. We'll react to some of the things that he talked about with the AFC and the NFL as a whole. But can you make your parlays pop this holiday season? Win some money from Vegas with weekly parlay bonuses from Superbook Sports. If you place a 3-team football parlay, Superbook will give you a $10 bonus voucher. That's your holiday bonus, courtesy of my friends, my official sportsbook, Superbook Sports. Rack up the wins and earn some holiday cash by betting parlays with Superbook. Download the Superbook Tennessee app and place your parlays today. Looking at things on Sunday, I like the Vikings minus the 4. I like Baltimore plus the 3 at Cleveland. I think that's a good one. And finally, I said it in Silly Underdogs, give me Miami plus 7 on the road at Buffalo. It's that simple, a 3-leg parlay, and go win some money. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
The college football season never stops. ESPN college football analyst Trevor Manich joins Stillman and Company every Tuesday at 4:30.
They've got to do what Nick Saban in Alabama has done so successfully over the last 10 years.
Presented by Houston Clinic Orthopedics on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
We'll finally start to see more sunshine today, and we're going to stay dry, but we're going to get colder too, with high temperatures around 50 this afternoon. Tonight, we'll see partly cloudy skies with low temperatures falling to near freezing. For Fox 17, I'm meteorologist Brett Lewis.
Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Joe Rexrode here for OrderGreen.com. Listen, to do the job I do, got to stay on the move at all times. Lots of travel, early mornings. Sometimes it can catch up with you, and when it does, I always enjoy natural and enjoyable ways to de-stress my mind and body. That's why I use a high-quality, wide selection of THC and CBD products from OrderGreen.com. It's not just me. Lots of my friends are on the bandwagon here, including a sick family friend of ours who has gotten great benefits. OrderGreen.com. You subscribe, you save 25% off shipments of gummies, or use promo code Joe20 for 20% off your first purchase. OrderGreen.com.
The great Persian poet Rumi once said, either bring me more wine or leave me alone. Truly a wise man if you ask me. When it comes to wine this holiday season, the only place I'll be jingling my cowbells is Red Spirits and Wine. Red's simply got the coolest selection, the best prices, and a holly jolly crew that's always friendly and makes great recommendations without ever acting like some of those pontificating snooty toots that you run into at a lot of places. I love the wine so much at Red that I sometimes forget to mention all of the great Red Barrel Select bourbons, single malt scotches, tequila, mezcal. Heck, Red's got it all to lift your spirits. Not to mention an awesome 16-tap beer growler station and 3 nice cigar humidors where you can lasso up some of the finest smokes. Red Spirits and Wine is your one-stop shop for the holidays, and don't forget, Red's got gift cards too. Red Spirits and Wine is open 7 days a week at Highway 70 South and Old Hickory Boulevard.
Jared Stillman.
This is a team that the entire city is losing their minds over.
Caroline Fenton.
It's one of the youngest teams in the league. They don't have a single player over the age of 30.
Stillman and Company. Afternoons from 2 to 6.
Presented by TriStar Moving.
On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app. This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. We're live at the Murphy Center today. We'll talk to Chris Massaro, athletic director for MTSU, at 1:30, as I believe that's him down there walking around on the court. They get ready for the 50th anniversary celebration of the Murphy Center tonight against Chattanooga. Appreciate Coach Herm Edwards from ESPN for joining us. Always enjoy the conversations with him. So how would you answer this question? Of the top three teams, Philadelphia, Buffalo, Kansas City, who do you trust the most going into the playoffs?
Buffalo, Kansas City,
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Oh, wow. That's a tough one. All right, Buffalo, I like Buffalo. If the road to the Super Bowl has to go to Buffalo, as it seems it will at this point, then I trust Buffalo the most.
Interesting.
But if they have to go on the road, I'm not quite sure I trust them as much because their defense, as good as we may, and them not having Von Miller, I think that's going to change some things for them. But I just think if they have to play away from home at any point, because of the injuries on the defensive side of the ball, because Josh Allen has shown that he will make some mistakes uncharacteristically in moments that he shouldn't, i.e. the red zone. You don't see Patrick Mahomes making those mistakes. You don't see Jalen Hurts making those mistakes. Because even though Patrick Mahomes knows he has a great arm, I think he's learned that I'm not going to put my team in a position to then lose points if I'm in the red zone. And it just seems like for some reason Josh Allen has done that as of late. So that's the team I trust the least.
Buffalo?
Buffalo.
Yeah.
And then are you saying just to get to the Super Bowl or win
I'm just saying, the whole run, whatever the run may be.
Winning it.
Who do you trust the most?
You know, I got to say, as much as I love Patrick Mahomes and as much as I think, there's not anything Patrick Mahomes can't do, but Patrick Mahomes can't play defense.
Sure.
And they still have trouble at times running the football. So that leads me to saying the team that I trust the most is the Philadelphia Eagles. Because Philly can do both. They can run the football, they can throw the football, and their defense is opportunistic. And if the road through the Super Bowl has to go through Philadelphia, I can't see a team like Minnesota or the Dolphins or San Francisco going into Philly and beating them. So Philly's the team that I trust the most.
And I understand why you say that. To me, it's still Kansas City because of Mahomes and because of Andy Reid.
Yeah,
they have the experience. They have the skins on the wall. They haven't gone away. They've been battle tested, and I think sometimes you see a team like Philadelphia that's so good and just running away with the league, and everybody's thinking, they're destined. But what catches up to them is the head coach doesn't have the experience and the quarterback doesn't have the experience. And here's my example of that. Now, Andy Reid had experience with Philadelphia, got them to a Super Bowl, went to 5 NFC championship games. I get all of that. But think about the first time in the AFC title game they face Brady and the Patriots and they lose because it's the first time Mahomes has been through that. That was important.
Yeah.
And that was one of those you had to lose to learn how to win. And I just wonder if Jalen Hurts is not in that boat. Granted, he did a lot of winning in college at Alabama and then Oklahoma. But I just wonder if that lack of experience does catch up to them at some point.
Well, you're absolutely right. It's who do you take? Do you take the most talented team across the board, or do you take the team that does have talent, and more importantly, they have talent, uber talent at the quarterback position, but, or vice versa. Do you take the team that say Philadelphia has all the talent but no experience, and they have more talent than Kansas City, but you take Kansas City because the head coach and the quarterback, but they don't have as much talent than the Philadelphia Eagles. Which team do you take? I mean, that's so. Do you always lean? A lot of times people lean on experience over talent. I do believe last year's playoff game for Jalen Hurts meant a lot to him. Had he not been in that position last year, I don't think he would be doing the things that he's doing this year. And with the ability to get this team to the playoffs and win multiple games in the playoffs, because now he has that experience of being in the playoffs and getting, basically beat down. But he has that experience as a quarterback. It's not like he's walking to a new situation where he's never been before. A.J. Brown has experience. Devontae Smith has experience. So they have guys that has that experience going into the playoffs, albeit one game for those two guys in particular, not A.J. Brown. But I can understand what you're saying when it comes to Kansas City. They've been there. They've won it. They're battle-tested, and they understand that, listen, if we do indeed meet up in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl, then because of our experience from the head coach to the quarterback and some of their players, we should ultimately win the game.
Last 30 seconds. A team that, not the big three, so Buffalo, Philadelphia, Kansas City, I would say is the big three. A team that you think could possibly mess things up.
For either one of those?
Yeah, to win the whole thing.
Oh,
that
to win the whole thing.
Could make a run that maybe people aren't paying attention to, and they should.
That one's tough because I would say one team, but this team is not in the playoffs as of yet, and that's the L.A. Chargers.
Yeah.
Because the L.A. Chargers are getting healthy at the right time. They got their two playmakers back on offense, and they're getting guys back on defense. If they find themselves in the playoff, I wouldn't want to face them or the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, Detroit is interesting. I think Dallas is scary.
I
think that defense is pretty darn good.
But I consider them one of the favorites, though.
Yeah, but I don't think people are talking about them to the level that they are with the other three.
No, you're right.
That could be it. Coming up next, Willy's going to join the fray. We'll talk to Elliot Friedman of Sportsnet, Hockey Night in Canada, the 32 Thoughts. That's all coming. Chase Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
You watch the game.
Sliding across, making the stop, UC Cerro.
We talk the game.
That wraparound goal by Sanford was a beaut.
Tanner Janot, Ryan Johansson gets on the board.
We are the game. Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Hey, it's Jared. Are you looking to move? If so, do yourself a favor and reach out to my friends at TriStar Moving. You can be assured your move will be stress-free because they've got new utility vans to help with pack jobs to separate your high-value or fragile items from the bulk of your furniture, and their movers are carefully picked and highly trained. No one in the game is doing this. TriStar Moving is raising the standard in the moving industry. When you're ready to move, give them a call. TriStar Moving, 615-640-1219, or online at nationalmoving.org/radio, and tell them Jared Stillman referred you for 10% off. That's TriStar Moving.
So guys, it's the holidays again, and that comes with all kinds of fun celebrations and activities. But if you're thinking you'd rather stay home and watch game shows than party, if your sex drive is more like sex neutral, or if you're thinking your dad bod is looking more and more like a Santa bod, maybe your holiday cheer isn't so cheery this year after all. But before you despair, you should know that the culprit might very well be low testosterone. It's a condition that affects us as we age, and it causes all kinds of issues like poor sleep, fatigue, low sex drive, bad workouts, and it can even contribute to ED. The good news is that the medical team at the Tennessee Men's Clinic can likely treat it and get you back to the man you used to be. Low T treatments are highly effective, with most men seeing results in a few weeks. If you're like the majority of guys, you'll sleep better, have better workouts, have much more energy, enjoy a higher sex drive, and generally just feel better. So get your cheer back. Call the Tennessee Men's Clinic. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes a medical consult and blood work with results in minutes. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments, etc. Results vary.
Response to Genesis Diamond's remarkable free financing offer has been so incredible that we're extending it through Christmas Eve. Last last-minute shoppers. We've got you covered with 5 years zero-interest financing on any purchase with $0 down. So you can splurge on that handcrafted diamond ring and spread it over 60 whole months. Studs, bracelets, necklaces, bands, every color and every shape, starting at only $35 a month with $0 down. You can use this amazing offer on anything. Designer engagement rings, classics like diamond pendants and bracelets. All our hand-selected GIA-certified diamonds are included, and so are our luxury pre-owned Rolexes. At Genesis, we've got our best collection ever, with case after case of stunning gifts that are romantic and timeless. And with Genesis guaranteed best value price and 5 years zero-interest, zero-down financing offer, you can make this the best Christmas ever and still stay in budget. Merry Christmas from Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs, on approved credit.
Finding the right person for the job isn't easy. Just ask someone who hired a lounge singer to be their office receptionist.
Hello, this is Mickey Marquis, and you've reached the office of Doug & Associates. Thank you very much. Catch me Tuesday nights at the Hotel Johnson. Hello?
But if you've got an insurance question, you can always count on your local Geico agent. They can bundle your policies, which could save you hundreds.
Doug & Associates, this is Mickey Marquis. Hello?
For expert help with all your insurance needs, visit geico.com/local today.
Tonight, your Nashville Predators hit the road to take on the Jets. Coverage begins at 6 on your home for Smashville. WPRT FM Pegram, WBUZ HD2 Laverne, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
A Cromwell media station.
These are battles, these are grinds. We don't panic, we don't freak out. That's how we're built. 1, 2, 3, 9.
This is the Drive to the Playoffs, brought to you by Coleman Tractor on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game in the Game Nashville app.
Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator Todd Downing addressed the media on Thursday and was asked about 14 straight games in a row that Derrick Henry has not found the end zone in the fourth quarter. Here's what Todd Downing had to say.
Yeah, in particular last week, we got to stay out of 2 minute, you know what I mean? And that is a good starting point. And then secondly, it's just that continued belief, right? Just chipping away at things, staying consistent, believing in who we are, and then not making the same mistakes twice. You know, we've had some opportunities down there, you know, and unfortunately we've had some repeated errors. You know, I'll go back and think about the Philly game and the short yardage where we had an opportunity to pour it up in there on short yardage against an advantageous look and then didn't get that ball snapped. You know, things like that. Those kind of self-inflicted missed opportunities.
That was offensive coordinator Todd Downing on Derrick Henry not finding the end zone in the fourth quarter and what they're going to have to do in order to score here in the coming weeks. This report has been brought to you by the Coleman Tractor Company.
Now let's see if we can bring them to life, all right?
Bringing you entertainment and informative sports talk during your workday.
Smart, funny, classy, and I like him a lot.
This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase with Chase McCabe, Willy Donick,
Mason, touchdown, Tennessee.
and former NFL wide receiver Derek Mason. Presented by Hair Club. Hair Club. Love your hair. Live your life. On Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason, live at the Murphy Center here on the campus of Middle Tennessee State University, my alma mater.
Yes.
Good to be here as the 50th anniversary of the Murphy Center will take place tonight. It was actually December 11th, but they're playing the game tonight against Chattanooga. We talked to Nick McDevitt earlier today. And
you were about to say Rick Merritt.
Well, I think I combined Rick Stockstill and Nick McDevitt, and that's where we got. Chris Massaro are going to join us at the bottom of the hour. But as we do every Thursday at 1 o'clock, we say hello to Elliot Friedman, the author of the 32 Thoughts, Sportsnet, Hockey Night in Canada. Willy Donick is here, or he's in Winnipeg, I should say. So you and Elliot are in the same country, Willy.
Yeah, last week I was sort of rubbing it in on Elliot when I was down in Tampa, and the weather was like 78 degrees and perfect sunshine, and today we got the snowstorm. I guess this wouldn't qualify as a storm. Like if we were in Nashville, this would like stop the city. But up here, it's like, yep, got a little snow. Deal with it.
8 inches? Just a little snow. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Elliot, how you doing?
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of an ice. We've got a little bit of an ice storm coming here. I've got a card game tonight, and some of my wimpy buddies are backing out. I'm not thrilled about this right now.
So, Elliot, with reading your column, and I know you've talked about it quite a bit, the situation in Vancouver with Bo Horvat. What is going on with that right now, and do you anticipate that a move maybe happening sooner rather than later?
I think the only reason I don't anticipate it happening soon is that, I think there's so many teams right now that are tight to the cap or in long-term injury. I don't think it's going to be easy. So I wouldn't want to say no, but I think there's time here. I mean, one of the things the Canucks have kind of indicated that if this, the trade deadline this year is March 3rd. If this goes into February, they don't seem to be too worried about that. Horvat, here's the situation. He's an unrestricted free agent. In the summer, I thought he was going to sign. I know a lot of other people thought he was going to sign, but it never got close. And I don't know if they lowballed him or it just wasn't close or whatever, but it never got there. And, in St. Louis, you take a look at some of the contracts signed there by their young players, Robert Thomas, Jordan Kyrou, those are 8x8-ish deals. And, he scored his 21st of the year last night. He's on pace for 60 goals. It's a bit ahead of where you would expect. Someone sent me a note this morning that he's about 8 ahead of where he probably should be based on expected goals. But, production matters, and he's having an enormous season. I think he's priced himself out of what they want to do. In the summer, they paid J.T. Miller 7 times 8, which is $56 million. I think they'd like to get Horvat around the same number, but I think they've been below that, and I'm not sure they're going to get there. It's a tough spot for them because they also have another great player, Elias Pettersson, who is an unrestricted free agent in 2 years, and they've got to sign him too.
The Predators right now find themselves on a 4-game losing streak, and we've seen this team be streaky this year. They had the 7-game losing streak, and then they went on a winning streak and a point streak, and now things are coming back down. They have injuries. 4 of their top 7 on defense are out right now, so that's obviously hard to overcome. But what's kind of your view of what's happening with the Predators and not being able to score, especially on the power play?
I have to say that at the beginning of this year, I was asking another team in your division. I go over all the teams in the division with them, and he said to me, like, "What's your biggest concern?" I said to him, "Okay, Nashville," and he goes, "You know what my biggest concern with them is?" And I go, "What's that?" And he goes, "Regression." He said last year, like a lot of your guys had enormous seasons. And the thing that you're worried about, Johansson, like Forsberg, I don't think you normally worry about. He's established himself as a pretty consistent player. But those were big numbers for Johansson, and it was a big year for Duchesne. And what do we have? And he said you can expect they'll take a little bit of a step back, but you don't want it to be too big, and you don't want like 5 guys to have it at the same time. And that's exactly what you guys are having right now. Like I've watched a little bit more. When I was in Florida, I didn't get a chance to see you very much, but I've watched you a little bit more, and I've said it a couple of times now, your best players aren't scoring. And now, I also saw too, I was looking at what's happened to a couple of the other guys who scored a bit more than expected last year. They're not scoring either. And, Saros has righted himself. Yes, your defense is banged up, but, I really look at it and I say quite simply, a number of the people who came through for you guys last year, they just aren't coming through. And I think the other thing that I think really concerns me about your group was there were times last year that, the one line dragged you into games. When you guys were struggling or you didn't start very well, you guys got dragged into games by that big, physical, tough line that just said, you know what, we're starting, and you guys would get energized. I don't see that happening as much this year. And that concerns me too, because that line's job is to do that. So either it's not happening as often, or the players just aren't as galvanized by that anymore. And that's another thing that concerns me about your group as I watch them.
Elliot Friedman with us. Elliot, I think you're dead on for sure. And on the flip side, the opponent tonight in Winnipeg, they've sort of turned it back around. Like I remember last year, you kind of had some high hopes. You thought that would be a team to watch. It didn't come together. But this year, when you have your goalie playing well and your top players are playing well, you can see how it can turn around with essentially the same guys.
Yeah, sorry, you cut out there for a second. Can you just repeat the end of the sentence there?
Yeah, sorry, Elliot. It looks like Winnipeg is getting the production from the top guys.
Yes, they are. And, like one of the players there had a great line about Rick Bowness. They said disappointing him is like disappointing your grandfather. Like he doesn't get mad at you, but he just says, I'm so disappointed at you. It makes you feel like you're about 2 inches tall. I think the thing about Bowness is he Kevin Bieksa, who we all know lost a fight badly once in Nashville, he told me that Bowness was one of the favorite coaches that he played for because he treated you like an adult and he told you he was demanding, but he treated you like an adult and he told you what he expected. And, I don't think that Bowness was the number one choice for Winnipeg. I think that was Barry Trotz. And I'm not even convinced he was the number 2 choice for Winnipeg. But sometimes, as I often joke, I don't think I was my wife's first choice either. But sometimes you get something, you get a marriage, and it works out really well. I think that's the case right now. I think Winnipeg has some flaws, but I think that he's taught them a different way to play. He's a new voice. Paul Maurice had been there for a long time. Sometimes you just get tired of the same voice. And I think he came in there, he said, this is the way we're going to play. They've bought in. I mean, aside from Vegas, who I think has beaten them now 3 times, they've given everybody trouble. And I just think the new voice there has really helped.
Elliot, I know you watched the waiver wire very closely. What were your thoughts on the Eeli Tolvanen maneuvering?
I have to tell you, I was surprised that none of the other teams down at the bottom of the standings didn't claim him. Like, to me, that was a perfect free claim for a lot of teams that have trouble scoring. Seattle was 23rd in the waiver order, 22nd because Nashville doesn't count. And the fact that they were the first team to put in a claim, it really surprised me. I was surprised when I saw him hit the wire. Like, sometimes I'll see things and I'll be like, what? Is this a mistake? Is this real? And I was a little surprised when I saw him. The more research I did into it, I understood. You guys were really banged up on the blue line. I understand Lausanne is skating today. So you can't, you need a defenseman, and you can't put those guys on long-term injury lists because they're just not out long enough. And if you can't do that, you can't get the break. So all of a sudden, you guys are sitting there. Lausanne gets hurt. You've already got other guys hurt. Another defenseman went down in that game, Carrier. McCarron's situation, very unfortunate, and you hope he does his best and gets better. But you're sitting there and you're saying you're stuck. And, the biggest debate I hear about this stuff, Willie, is, I've had people debate me over the years. Do you do what's right for your business, or do you do what's right for your locker room? And sometimes the right thing for your business is to send down a player who has you have the ability to send them down, even though they're a player who's playing. And that doesn't always go well with your players. They know who deserves to be in the lineup and who doesn't. And sometimes you sit there and you say, you know what, someone that isn't playing, he's going to be the guy we're going to remove because other people deserve to play. And that's what happened. He hadn't played since November 19th, and that was the decision you made. I had Predators fans sending me DMs, we could have moved Cole Smith, we could have moved somebody else. And, I think it came down to who's playing and who isn't. And I know all of these moves, and believe me, I heard from a lot of Predators fans who weren't happy about it. And now we're going to find out, was it the right move to it simply a player needed a change of scenery? Was it not going to work in Nashville? Were the Predators right about this? I guess we're going to have a referendum, and we're all going to find out. But I'll tell you this. I have spoken to a lot of players over the years, guys, who believe that everybody knows who deserves to be in the lineup. And in a situation like that, usually the best thing to do is say, we're going to keep the guys who we think deserve to be in the lineup.
And Elliot, let's go to a connecting story. A Winnipeg native, Cody Glass, is a guy that, you know, if you look down the road 2 or 3 years, this is a guy they really love to turn into something significant. He's going to get a chance to play in Winnipeg tonight for the first time as an NHL player. But so that's a guy that obviously they sort of chose to keep rather than Tolvanen. And so let's see how he does, because he's a guy short-term and long-term who's very important.
Well, what probably means Cody Glass is probably playing for free tonight because he's spending so much money in tickets that he's not getting a team check out of it. Yeah, that we always like when that happens. Yeah, again, like the thing is about Cody Glass is he's been playing. I know he's had the chance a couple times this year to become the second line center, and he's still a relatively young guy. I don't know if that kind of ceiling is still possible for him. But that doesn't mean he can't be a useful player. I mean, the other thing, too, is he's a center. And the centers are the hardest things to find. And I know in this league now, if you ask most teams, what do you need to win, they will tell you you've got to be good on the blue line, and you've got to be great down the middle, and you've got to have a goalie who can make one more save than the other guy. And you guys have a really good one. So I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if all the Predators fans would agree with this, but I'm not surprised that they would err on the side of a center as opposed to a winger. I mean, to me, the bottom line is Tolvanen hasn't played in almost a month. And if you don't think a guy is going to play for you, why would you keep him over somebody else? Like, it's just better for even the player, too, to go get a fresh start somewhere else.
Elliot, appreciate it as always, and we will talk to you next week.
All right, guys, have a great weekend.
You too. Elliot Friedman, Sportsnet, Hockey Night in Canada, author of the 32 Thoughts, joins us every Thursday at 1 o'clock. We'll come back with more here from the Murphy Center at MTSU. But first, Willie, tell us about Loan Pronto.
Okay, let's talk Loan Pronto. 2023 is just around the corner. And if you'd love to kick off the new year without any credit card debt, or if you want to take care of some big bills that you want to just say, it's over and done, it's history, it's in the past, 2023 is new, you can do it with Loan Pronto's Express Equity line of credit. Wipe out the credit card bill, the car payment, start a new project in terms of home improvement. You want to make your house even more valuable? You can reinvest in it by getting cash out. Rates are down. This is a great move to get on more solid financial footing for 2023. That sounds good. You don't have to do a full home refi. Ask about the Express Equity credit line. You can close in 7 to 10 days. You can access up to 95% of your home's equity. So call Loan Pronto now and get on it. 615-499-5780. You can keep your main load intact, and you can get the cash you need. 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
At some point, it's a combination of who did you play and what does your skill set look like.
Get the best analysis of the big stories in the sports world with ESPN's Jason Fitz.
If you reach for a quarterback in the draft because you need one, you're going to set your franchise back 5 years.
Join Fitzy every Wednesday at 4:30. Presented by Blood Assurance. Jason Fitz.
I am 5'9.5"
on ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, it's Joe Rexford here, letting you know the perfect time to download FanDuel is right now. It's America's #1 sportsbook, and right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. All you have to do is sign up with promo code Joe102. FanDuel has moneyline, point spreads, all your favorites, but it also has a way to combine bets for a bigger payout. This is called a same-game parlay. If I was looking at Titans-Chargers, first of all, I like the Chargers. I don't like how the Titans are playing. I don't like their health situation. I do like Derrick Henry to have a touchdown. So anytime touchdown for him. I do like Justin Herbert to be over on his passing yards. That Titans pass defense right now is really struggling. You do whatever you want. Just do it on an app that's safe, secure, super easy to use. Sign up today with promo code Joe102 for that no sweat first bet. Again, promo code Joe102. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online room and wager only. Refund issued. It's now about free bets. Expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 800-889-9789.
Nothing says I love you like the gift of jewelry. A sapphire ring, a diamond necklace, a colored gemstone earring, an anniversary band. And around here, the diamond destination is Genesis Diamonds. With decades of experience, our legendary value combined with worldwide connection, Genesis is here to help make this Christmas the most unforgettable ever. And to make it easy to splurge, our special 0% finance offer has been extended through Christmas Eve. So you can make any holiday purchase and spread your payments over 5 years and enjoy an interest rate of 0% with absolutely nothing down. Our showcases are filled with exquisite diamond rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, as well as a fabulous selection of luxury pre-owned Rolexes, starting as low as $35 a month with nothing down. And if you're planning an engagement this holiday season, this special finance offer includes all of our designer engagement rings and all GIA certified diamonds. Buy now, spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest and nothing down. Say I love you louder than ever this holiday with the gift of diamonds from Genesis Diamonds. Green Hills in Cool Springs. On approved credit.
Achieve hero status this year. The woman in your life will love this unique and thoughtful gift. Always in style, always fits, always appreciated. Choose your budget, and whether you spend a little or go lavish, she can choose from 10 different services, all under one roof at a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa. Gift cards can be printed directly from the website, or they can be beautifully wrapped for a stunning presentation and even paired with other gifts like robes, candles, and all sorts of fun finds from the Gift Boutique. Learn more about this at amomentspeace.com/Christmas.
Hal Gill here for my friends at Dunkin'. Everyone celebrates the holidays in their own special way, but you go twice as hard as everyone else. So does Dunkin', which is why they've created 2 espresso-rich holiday signature lattes. The minty, cocoa-dusted peppermint mocha and creamy cinnamon sugary toasted white chocolate lattes are handcrafted with bold espresso and topped with whipped cream to help you do the most this year. So swing by the newly remodeled Dunkin' on Bradley Parkway in Nashville or the new Dunkin' in Mount Juliet and grab one today on the double.
The Nashville Sheriff is hiring correctional officers. Earn $52,500 after paid training and probation. Positions are available immediately. You must be 21 and over with a high school diploma or GED. Come join our family. That's $52,500 with great benefits. Apply now at sheriff.nashville.gov/apply or call 615-862-8170. Earn $52,500. Stop searching. Apply now. The Nashville Sheriff.
It's on. It's happening. Remember, you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter.
Get out of the way. I'm watching the game.
Presented by the law offices of Amanda Gentry.
I'm ready to step this up a notch.
You're listening to Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Tune in for NFL pregame this Sunday live from Twin Peaks in Cool Springs, located at 1634 Galleria Boulevard. Join Jared Stillman and Forever Titans wide receivers Chris Sanders and Derek Mason from 1 to 3 prior to the Titans taking on the Chargers. Pregame is presented by TriStar Moving, Parman Tractor and Equipment, Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, Superbook Sports, and Ounce of Hope Cannabis Company. Chase, Willy, and D-Mase presented by Hair Club live at the Murphy Center at MTSU. Blue Raiders taking on Chattanooga tonight as a part of the 50th anniversary celebration of this building. Athletics Director Chris Massaro going to join us in just a few minutes. But, Willy, I know you did you ever play here? Did you ever play at the Murphy Center?
I never played at the Murphy Center. I have broadcast any number of games, college, high school. I've done some state championship games, a lot of them there. So I have seen many, many games. And the Murphy Center, I think, is still one of the more unique buildings in college basketball. I've never seen really any other building that's built quite like it. I think it's a great place to watch a game. Yeah, no doubt about it, for sure. I know you went to morning skate. What can you tell us about what to expect? I know John Hines said Saros will be in tonight, but what else can we expect as the Preds take on the Jets? Well, as we just talked about with Elliott, there really are no options right now to put anybody else in the lineup. They are up against it. with the salary cap, with injuries. Jeremy Lauzon did skate. You heard Elliott say that. And so he is getting closer. So there is some optimism. And not only about him, but the other defensemen, namely, of course, Alex Carrier, Ryan McDonough, that they hope to get them maybe back a little sooner than maybe they initially thought. But you keep your fingers crossed on that because you never know. Like, it's a day-to-day thing. You got to hope for that daily improvement. But I think Lauzon will be the first of the three to get back in there. He's the guy on the ice. And so that will at least help a little bit. But in the meantime, they've got to make it happen with the guys the guys they have, and they have a very tough opponent tonight in the Jets, who were kind of in a funk really all last year, but now with essentially the same team, they figured some things out. They have an excellent goalie in Connor Hellebuck, who will start tonight, and they've got their top guys sort of carrying the load. Kyle Connor, Pierre-Luc Dubois, who they probably won't have after this year. Josh Morrissey, their top defenseman, is having a career year. And Blake Wheeler, who was stripped of the captaincy last year with the new coach coming in, has had a bounce-back year for them. So you put that all together, and you've got a team that's 18-9-1 and looking really, really good right now.
Yeah, they've played well as the season has gone on, here in the first half. And Rick Bowness, I think we know what he did in Dallas. I think he's a heck of a coach, and as Elliott said, sometimes getting a new voice in there, can be a good thing.
Yeah, and what he does is he emphasizes defensive structure. Defense leads to offense, and so the guys have bought in. But really, when you look at it, to me, this is a really good contrast of what a team two teams that essentially were looked at the same kind of way. Playoff teams when they're at their best, teams that could miss the playoffs if they're not playing at their best. But you have a team in the Jets that the top players are having good years, much like Nashville had last year. And you saw what the Jets looked like last year when their top guys didn't have as good a years. They missed the playoffs. This year you've got Nashville in a desperate need to get the top players going. Elliott talked about it, but I don't want to single out Forsberg and Duchesne, but we'll use them as examples. When those guys do well, the Predators win a huge percentage of the games. And you're going to have some games where you don't score. But, by and large, those guys are off the pace, as you heard Elliott say, and then you can go down the list. Granlund, Johansson, et cetera. I think Roman Josi is having a really good year. But in the next two-thirds of the season, and there's still a long way to go, it's very simple. Those guys, the top players have to carry the load if this team's going to get there. And the other side bar that Elliott mentioned that I do think is becoming an issue too, a guy like Tanner Jeannot, who he and Yakov Trenin really provided some really good secondary scoring last year. They're off their pace as well. So those are the other things that have to pick up. But to me, there's sort of a trickle-down effect. If the top guys produce, I think that becomes more likely that the secondary guys will kick in.
Coming up next, as I mentioned, we're at the Murphy Center. Chris Massaro, MTSU Athletics Director, is going to sit down with us, talk about some of the things that are going to be happening tonight. But first, Willie, tell us about Lee Company.
Lee Company is, of course, going to be sponsoring our pregame radio coverage, which starts tonight at 6 o'clock. The Jets and the Predators from up here in Winnipeg at 7 o'clock. Max Hers and Hal Gill will be on the call for that one. Lee Company, proud sponsor of the Nashville Predators. And, of course, they have all of your needs. It's snowing up here. It's in the 20s as far as degrees, which is actually pretty warm for this time of the year up in Winnipeg. But back home, you got to make sure your heating unit is running properly at this time of the year. If it's not, always keep the phone number handy. If you have any trouble, hopefully, knock on wood, you don't need it when it comes to your heating. But 615-567-1000. Eventually, when you're a homeowner, you're going to need some maintenance. You're going to need some work on some of those fundamental parts that keep your house running, the plumbing, the electric, the heating, the cooling. And they've got the home maintenance plan at Lee Company. That's the best thing for you. 615-567-1000 or go to leecompany.com. Lee Company, let their decades of expertise go to work for you.
Saturday night.
Out high the score! Dante Fabro!
The Predators continue their road trip against the Avalanche. Pre-game at 7. Face-off at 8 on your home for Nashville. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Need cash for the holidays or to pay off credit cards right now? Loan Pronto's all-new Express Equity Line of Credit program is just what you need. This is great. You can keep your low mortgage rate and still get cash out. That's right. You don't have to do a full home refi. You can tap a small portion of the equity you have and enjoy a super low rate. With Loan Pronto's Express Equity Credit Line, you can close in 7 to 10 days, and a $50,000 loan will come your way, and it only costs you around $300 a month. Use that money to pay off whatever bills you have, credit cards, consolidate other debt, or start a home improvement project. With Loan Pronto, you can access up to 95% of your home's equity, and 9 out of 10 homeowners won't even need the appraisal. Even if you did a total refi recently or just bought your home, you can tap the equity with this fast, easy program. Do it now before the holidays. Call Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
Welcome to Smashville, home of the biggest hits in hockey and the loudest parties on Broadway. Join us at Bridgestone Arena Tuesday, December 19th for Teacher Appreciation Night as your Nashville Predators take on the Edmonton Oilers. And don't miss the December 23rd game as your Preds take on the Colorado Avalanche. Both games will feature a Preds holiday light show. Purchase your tickets now at NashvillePredators.com/tickets. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets. We can't wait to see you back inside Bridgestone Arena. Happy holidays, and let's go Preds.
Family Leisure would like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas from our family to yours.
Merry Christmas!
Family Leisure is having a Christmas sale, up to 50% off on everything in the store.
Wow, that really helps.
Arcade games, game tables, pool tables, even shuffleboard tables are on sale. Foosball and air hockey tables as low as $199 as well.
Those are great gifts for the family.
Family Leisure has spas in stock and on sale and ready for immediate delivery. Family Leisure's Christmas sale going on now.
Both huge locations, Franklin and Antioch.
Where family and fun come together. 312 Pizza Company is a family-owned restaurant located in the heart of Germantown, serving up authentic Chicago-style eats right here in Nashville. 312 Pizza Company only uses the best all-natural ingredients and makes everything in-house from scratch every single day. And trust me, you can taste the difference. They've got deep dish pizza, thin crust pizza, their Italian beef. You'll taste the freshness. Stop in for a pint of local beer and a slice of pizza, or order online at 312pizzaco.com. 312 Pizza Company, Nashville's authentic Chicago pizzeria.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
This message is for the guy who isn't perfect in the bedroom. And let's be honest, who is? Maybe the issue is getting it up, or keeping it up, or maybe it's finishing too soon. If any of these performance hiccups sound familiar to you, don't sweat it. Hims can help. At 4hims.com, you can go online and get clinically proven prescription medication that treats these issues, prescribed for you, if appropriate, by licensed medical providers. And the medication is shipped free to your door in discreet packaging. Plus, Hims gives you unlimited follow-up visits with medical providers. No one's perfect in the bedroom every time, but with Hims, you can get a lot closer than before. And chances are, your partner will agree.
To get started today, go to 4hims.com/perfect. That's 4hims.com/perfect for your free visit. FORHIMS.com/PERFECT.
TSU basketball lives on 102.1 The Ville. Join Coach Brian Petty Collins and the Tigers for every great moment in the OVC. On your home for TSU basketball, 102.1 The Ville and the Ville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Vanderbilt head coach Jerry Stackhouse. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason at the Murphy Center at MTSU. Willy is in Winnipeg, getting ready for Predators and Jets. Over on 94.9 The Fan, starting at 5:30. You'll hear MTSU pregame as the Blue Raiders will host Chattanooga tonight. The 50th anniversary celebration of the Murphy Center, this awesome building. And joining us now is Chris Massaro, the athletic director here at MTSU. And I got to tell you, we're sitting here talking about the floor, I guess, do you call it gray or whatever the color is?
Yeah, gray. Uh-huh.
But a different look for the floor. First time I've seen that. I know that's new, but it looks really cool.
It makes the blue pop. I mean, and we're above we're at the mezzanine level, and it just looks great from here. The blue and the colors, and it's just a fresh new look for the Murphy Center on its 50th birthday.
Yeah, December 11th was the actual birthday, the actual anniversary. I know members of that team are going to be here tonight. They're watching shoot-around right now. They're going to be a part of introductions. But what other fun things are planned for the celebration tonight?
Well, we've got all kinds of fun things to really kind of honor it. And that's the main thing is that the guys that played in that game, they're having pregame meal with our players, and obviously they're at shoot-around right now, and then they'll have a warm-up top, so they'll lead the team out. And then Lee Fowler, who used to be an AD here, he was on that Vanderbilt basketball team that played in 1972, so he's gathered up 4 or 5 of his teammates. So we'll have the Vanderbilt guys here, our guys here, so we'll honor them. We'll honor some track because there's an indoor track around. So like Herschel Walker and Bo Jackson are some of the track athletes that have run on this track. And then we'll honor, the music will be from the concerts of the past, from the artists in the past, from Dolly Parton to The Who to Elvis Presley to Garth Brooks to John Denver. I mean, it ran the gamut. So there was a who's who of artists of the 80s and 90s that played in here. So musically, we'll try to touch base with it. You'll see the all-time opponents team here at Murphy Center, some really great opponents that have played here. Our MTSU all-time team, the TSSAA all-time team. We've had people from Magic Johnson to Anthony Hardaway and that have played basketball in here. I mean, it's just a tremendous history, and we're going to try to honor it all tonight in about 2 minutes of timeouts at each. At the under 4, we'll be running out there doing something. At the under 8, we'll run out there and try to do something again. So it'll be a busy evening.
We asked Willy if he had ever played here, and he said no, but he's broadcast several games in here.
Okay. So I thought you might have lit it up one time, Willy, in here.
I wish. We never played middle when I was playing for Vanderbilt. A couple years later, they did. In fact, it was maybe just a year or two after I stopped playing. And middle beat Vanderbilt at the Murphy Center. And it was a rare time. I think it was a Jan Van Bredikoff team that lost to middle here. But I have broadcast a lot of games here. I did a handful of middle games on CSS, and I did a lot of state championship games. And to me, those are some of my best memories, Chris, when you get the state tournament. Here, the guys and the girls. There's been a lot of really special games, special players that have come up through here. And I was telling the guys earlier, just the structure of Murphy Center. And, Chris, you've been around the country. I don't think there's another building like that at all. I think it's about as unique as it comes.
The windows, the squareness of it, that there's no center support. So I know when they built the roof that they were worried it was going to collapse. And those kind of things but it's an engineering marvel, really. And so it is a unique building. It's patterned after Notre Dame. So it was very similar to Notre Dame, and they've since renovated their arena. But us and Notre Dame are very similar. Willy, out of those high school games, does one stand out to you?
I did a bunch of them. On the girls' side, I think the best one that I ever did, it was the Mount Juliet team that had Alicia Clark, who, of course, you know very well. She ended up having a great career at middle and then on to the WNBA. She and her team came in against a team from a really small town, Dyersburg, but it was a great game. Dyersburg was kind of the underdog. It was one of the best crowds that I've seen. I think half of Mount Juliet was here, and then I think all of Dyersburg was here for sure. And it was just a great high school game. Alicia was and I got to know her a little bit through the years with her being around and just helping out at some basketball camps we did. So I enjoyed following her career. But yeah, that's one that stands out to me. I saw a great game with Bolivar Central on the boys' side that had Wayne Chisholm, who went on to play at Tennessee, a really good player for Bruce Pearl. They had a great team that came through here. And you could probably recite some of the guys who came through in high school, just some big-time names. A lot of them out of Memphis, some of them from Nashville, some guys from Chattanooga. I mean, it's really fun to see who comes through here.
Yeah, from the Corey Brewers of the world, I mean, it's the lists are amazing, and this building's created so many memories for people all over the mid-state and really all over the state, because I think we've hosted the TSSAA. It might be at 44, 45 years of the building. So it's the goal of every high school kid to end their season at Murphy Center. And I just in my 20 years here, I've seen some great high school games as well. I mean, some of those great Riverdale teams. I missed the Shelbyville Rick Insel teams because we ended up hiring him in my first year, so I kind of stole that thunder. But I understand those were some great crowds and events too with him.
No doubt. It's funny. The first time I was here, or not the first time, but I was a sophomore in high school at Franklin Road Academy. We were in state and playing here, and I'm the manager. I'm on the court, and we're in a good spot. Good spot, leading the game, close game, good game. And I'm trying to remember the team. It was like Iona or something like that. It was a team I had never heard of. And we're in control. We get fouled, miss the free throws, which Coach always emphasized making the free throws. They come down and score, tie it up. It's looking like we might be going to overtime. They get the ball back and hit it at the buzzer and beat us.
Oh, wow.
And it was heartbreak. But,
yeah, that's a killer.
You mentioned those TSSAA moments in this building. They're a lot over the years.
Yeah, that's what makes tonight so special, because it's impacted almost everybody that has any sort of sports fan in them. And it's really all over the state. Then you start throwing in all the commencements and other type memories that are formed in this building, and it really is near and dear to a lot of people in our community.
Now, how long, Chris, did it take you and your staff, or when did you and your staff started to work on this 50th year event?
That's a great question. Probably about 18 months ago.
Okay.
That I was kind of – there's a little plaque outside my office that has the date. So it was a nice reminder, as you walk into the Murphy Center, like, okay, here we're coming up on it. So it's like, I can't forget this thing, I mean, I can't let it go by, because this thing could be really huge. So the first thing we really tried to do was the obvious one was try to get Vanderbilt to come play us as close to that date as we could. And quite honestly, there was a little bit more interest from Vanderbilt when Nick won 5 games, and then the next year we won like 26 games. And for some reason, there wasn't as much interest, so we had to go a different direction. So, and then it really became trying to find a date that with Chattanooga or Murray, because Murray, we play them next week, and we've actually played Murray more times than anyone else in this building. But it would have been a neat little thing if we could have made that Vanderbilt thing work. It would have been fun. So we've started on it a long time ago, and then we formed a committee and just all the little things that we could do to help celebrate this thing all year.
Now, you asked Willie that question. What has been some of your favorites in regards to games that have been played on this court?
Yeah, and from women's basketball, my first year here, I guess it was in 2006 spring, we hosted the Sun Belt Conference basketball tournament, and this was Rick Insel's first year as our coach, and we were playing Western Kentucky in the final, and Western was the heavy favorite, and we ended up winning that game in front of 5,000 people by about 18 points. I mean, we put them away pretty easily, and it's like, oh, we've got a real coach, a real thing going. I mean, Western had been the dominant kind of program, and so that was really a great, because it was sort of the signal of the Rick Insel era. So that one sticks out in my mind. I think that we had and this was a loss. Sometimes, as you well know, you remember the losses more than the wins. And we'd just beaten UT in the NIT over there and beat them, and so we're playing Minnesota in here to go to New York. It was in the NIT quarterfinals. Had a really good team. Tubby Smith was their coach, and it was a back and forth game. We ended up losing by like 4. It was like a tie game with a minute left, anybody's ball game, chance to go to New York. But what I really remember about this place is that we had about 24 hours, and we sold. It was 11,000 people in here, and it was just a great environment. So it was a lot of fun on a quick turnaround, and to try to get to New York. So those are the two men's and women's games that kind of stand out for me.
Well,
hey, Derek, I'll throw one more at you. Because you'll appreciate this. And, Chris, I'm sure you've had this documented, but we had a long time ago, we had the late Dick Enberg on the show, and he did the games in the NCAA tournament. It was 79. It was the year that Magic and Bird played in the final, and the early rounds were here at the Murphy Center. I say here, I'm sitting in Winnipeg, but you guys, I'm looking at you guys at Murphy Center. But Magic and Michigan State won their games, and Dick Enberg told a great story to us about he was doing a post-game interview with Magic, who was just emerging as a national, name. And, of course, we know what happened in the years after that. But this was before the huge game that seemed to change college basketball forever. This is the lead-up to it. And Dick Enberg didn't know Magic very well, but he was supposed to do a post-game interview while the tournament was going on NBC, but there was a long delay. They were going to go to him live, and he had to wait for 4, 5, 6 minutes before NBC could come back to Dick Enberg to do the interview. And Dick Enberg, he got to know Magic. He thought he might be restless and say, hey, let me get out of here. What are we doing here? But he saw the big smile from Magic, right? He said, that's all right, man. It was like he was excited to be on TV. And that's when Dick Enberg said he started to see the personality of Magic for the first time. So that was pretty cool. But Magic did come through here.
He did.
Murfreesboro, and on the way to the title.
And that's pretty legendary. And I remember watching the game on television. I was in Colorado at the time. I was growing up, and I was a big Notre Dame fan. And Notre Dame was in that regional. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, if somebody can match up with Magic, it'll be 6'7" Bill Hanslick. And I was kind of excited for the final. And then I remember the opening tip, Greg Kelser tips it to Magic, tips it back to Kelser, dunk. And it was like, oh, this thing's going to be a good runaway. And it was. I mean, they blew Notre Dame's doors out. But that's one of the legendary. I mean, there were some great players. I think Bill Lambier was on that team. Bill Hanslick. I think Kelly Tripucka might have been on that team. So there was some star power at that regional. And obviously Magic's the biggest star of them all.
Well, hey, listen, both of them end up playing together, Bill Lambier and Kelly Tripucka. I believe they overlapped in Detroit.
Yeah,
I think they played a few years in Detroit together. Yeah.
Well, it'll be fun tonight for sure. We'll have coverage on 94.9 The Fan, but come on out to Murfreesboro. If you go to GoBlueRaiders.com before 4 o'clock, you can actually get $4 tickets in the end zones, throwback pricing tonight. So do that. It's going to be fun. Chris, good to see you. Thanks for having us.
And thanks, guys. Thanks for being here. This was a lot of fun going down memory lane with you guys.
Absolutely. He's Chris Massaro, the athletic director at MTSU. We'll come back, put a bow on things here at the Murphy Center. But can you beat Vegas this football season? Superbook Sports gives you the chance every week to go head-to-head with the best odds makers in Las Vegas. There's no fancy computer algorithms. There's no guys across the pond setting the lines for American sports. It's just the best team of odds makers in the business right there behind the counter at the Superbook in Las Vegas. Plus, they feature some of the best odds boosts and promo bets anywhere. So do like I did. Download the Superbook Sports app, or you can visit superbook.com and start your battle against Vegas right now. Tonight, San Francisco -3.5 on the road against Seattle. That is the Thursday night game, the over-under at 43 if you want to take that. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
The Sports Talk doesn't end on Friday. Join Michelle Knezovic and Junie Riddle for Michelle and Junie.
Have they truly been tested yet?
I really want this to be a good game.
Michelle and Junie, every Saturday morning at 9. Presented by Superbook Sports and the Nashville Jam Company.
I think Junie and I are going to go hit breakfast/brunch there after the show.
On 102.5 and 106.3, The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
We'll finally start to see more sunshine today, and we're going to stay dry, but we're going to get colder too, with high temperatures around 50 this afternoon. Tonight, we'll see partly cloudy skies with low temperatures falling to near freezing. For Fox 17, I'm meteorologist Brett Lindner.
Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
It's electric in Smashville. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 429 has a new path to a dignified career. Local 429 is accepting applications for the highest skilled electricians and linemen and is providing the best training in Middle Tennessee. They are the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 429. Call them at 615-889-4429 or go online to ibew429.org. IBEW Local 429, your proud seventh man since the beginning. Go Preds!
Response to Genesis Diamond's remarkable free financing offer has been so incredible that we're extending it through Christmas Eve. Last minute shoppers, we've got you covered with 5 years zero interest financing on any purchase with $0 down. So you can splurge on that handcrafted diamond ring and spread it over 60 whole months. Studs, bracelets, necklaces, bands, every color and every shape, starting at only $35 a month with $0 down. You can use this amazing offer on anything. Designer engagement rings, classics like diamond pendants and bracelets. All our hand-selected GIA certified diamonds are included, and so are our luxury pre-owned Rolexes. At Genesis, we've got our best collection ever, with case after case of stunning gifts that are romantic and timeless. And with Genesis guaranteed best value price and 5 years zero interest, zero down financing offer, you can make this the best Christmas ever and still stay in budget. Merry Christmas from Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. Unapproved credit.
Hi, this is Ben Talbot, local owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. We have a lot to be grateful for this year, and I want to say thank you to our customers in Nashville and throughout Middle Tennessee. I hope everyone has a safe and happy holiday season from Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville.
Robbie Stanley.
To avoid non-contact injuries and not repeat last year,
Joe Rexroad.
Just wait until next year's national TV schedule comes out.
Robbie and Rexroad. Mornings from 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app. This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, presented by Hair Club. Love your hair, live your life, creating custom hair loss solutions for men and women. We're live today at the Murphy Center at MTSU. This Sunday following the Titans game, tune in for NFL postgame with Jonathan Hutton and Chad Withrow. They'll be live at the Superbook Lounge at the Landshark Bar and Grill in Margaritaville on Sports, voted #1 sportsbook in Vegas. Download their app today. Willy, you'll appreciate this. You were bringing up that Michigan State team with Magic and being in this building. So behind the bleachers, they have a timeline of some of the big events that have been held in this building over the years. That one, of course, is on there. You guys know I love wrestling. 1991, WWF. Now WWE had 3 events with the world champion Hulk Hogan wrestling in this building, which is cool. Garth Brooks had, I think, 4 sold-out shows in the mid-'90s in this building. Lots of concerts here, so really, really cool.
Yeah, that is great. There's so much history in the building. I'm glad they've got it documented there. So, yep, it's been a fun little slice of history today, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it has. Derek just saw this, and I meant to bring this up earlier. So Purdue, who's going through a coaching change now, has hired Drew Brees as an interim assistant coach before the Citrus Bowl. So Drew Brees, who's been retired, is going to go to his alma mater and be an assistant.
Oh, wow. Didn't see that one coming. Is he doing it because he truly wants to be a head coach, or is he sort of helping out his alma mater?
Probably just helping out.
You know,
I mean, it's a bowl game.
Yeah, bowl game. So you just never know.
Kerry Coombs is going to coach Cincinnati against Louisville in the longtime assistant there, and Luke Fickell leaves to go to Wisconsin. And I think Kerry Coombs might be going with him, but he's going to coach Cincinnati against Louisville because Scott Satterfield is leaving Louisville to go to Cincinnati, and they're playing each other in the bowl game. So he's watching. But, that happens with bowl games. But, yeah, no, it's cool. Willy, Derek he's been given the green light to go shoot after the show.
Yeah, Willy.
Okay, so I was going to ask this. We have not had any action yet.
No, so we're up above we're up above things here at the Murphy Center. I could try and turn the camera around and show you kind of where we are, but we're in the beer garden. So we're on the concourse looking down over the court. A great seat, and watching the Blue Raiders have shoot around right now. And Derek is just itching to go out there and be scout team. But I am a little concerned because he practiced his jump shot and his knees immediately started hurting.
My knees, Willie, man. You know? Willie, you know about the knees, man. After a while, you can't jump as high as you used to.
No, it just doesn't. You're going just as hard, but you're not getting there as fast.
Yeah. Your mind wants to. Your body says no.
Yeah. Well, get a couple of shots up for me today after the shoot-around's over.
Yeah, for sure. The Preds got to get something going tonight, and Winnipeg is going to be a tough test, but this schedule is not going to get any easier for them, Willie. So I feel like, something's got to give. They're getting these power play chances, but not doing anything with them.
Yeah, no, there's no question. The power play is a huge, huge thing. They've talked a lot about it. We discussed it a lot with the coaches and the players this morning in our preparation. It's certainly a feature. Like we mentioned, in this league, you have to be able to score. Winnipeg has been lighting it up offensively. They're averaging over 4 goals a game in their last 10 games. It seems like their only kryptonite is Las Vegas. They've lost 3 times to Las Vegas this year. Everybody else, man, they have played great. So this is a big, big challenge, and they need everybody on board tonight. And you have to feel like you've got to be at least even in special teams if you're going to come out on top. And as you mentioned, Chase, this is a tough schedule between now and Christmas. You've got at Winnipeg, then you go to Colorado, come back home and play the Oilers again, a team that you have not matched up with very well at all. Then a trip up to Chicago and back home again to play the Avalanche for a second time. That's before Christmas. So it's going to be very busy. And Nashville just simply has to find a way out of this funk and get some points here before Christmas. And then hopefully sooner than later, they'll start to get some bodies back. That's what you have to hope for.
For sure. Willie, have a great call tonight, and be safe, stay warm. We'll talk to you tomorrow. That's going to do it for us from here at the Murphy Center at MTSU. But stick around. Stillman & Company coming up next. They'll start talking about Chargers and the Titans. That's all next. 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
We out.
You love the game.
Predators win it in overtime. Touchdown, Tennessee.
We live the game.
My quarterback needs me to step up.
He can make a defense pay.
We are.
1, 2, 3, 5.
I think it was a good